Hello everybody, welcome back to Hellstormwargaming coverage of the London Grand Tournament.
Welcome back.
We're into round 2. We have 4 new players in front of us on table 1 and table 2 respectively.
We do. We have someone returning who was on from the Invitational yesterday.
Mr. Reece Robbins from Frontline Gaming fame. He's currently playing against Jamie. His name is Jamie East, I think that's right. Yes, we've got Jamie East and Reece Robbins on our table 2. Jamie's rocking Admech. And obviously Reece is still playing with his Space Marines, with his red Space Marines, the white scars, or the red scars, as they're referred to. And then we have Ramsey from Team England, James Ramsey, playing with a list that's very interesting, Elliot. He's got 70 intercessors.
Yeah, I'm really interested actually to see how that goes. I've heard it's good.
Yeah.
Heard it's strong. I'm not convinced. I hope this proves me wrong.
Well, I mean,
because I've heard there's lots and lots of little tips. There's lots of like little tricks that are going to be going on.
For sure.
So until I've seen them, I'm going to do the typical science thing of being like, I don't know.
I think Ramsey is obviously a great player. He's part of Team England, so he believes in the list at least anyway. He's also playing against a gentleman called Michael, who is rocking a Drukhari list, which is very, very similar to what you see. Well, it's Eldari actually. It's got lots of Drukhari, lots of Coven, and it's also got some Harlequins in there.
Right,
very similar to what you see from the likes of Mark Crumbleholm, who's currently rocking the ITC Eldari faction. Before we flip over to the tables, we'll just say that we've got some more games for you today, and some more games for you tomorrow as well, folks. So we're gonna be streaming live the Invitational Final today.
Yep.
That'll be at 8 PM British summertime, guys, as you've seen on the previous screen before the stream came on. And then we're also rocking 2 games on Sunday, so the 4th and 5th game on Sunday.
Yeah, and there'll be a different sort of feel to these games as well. So what we've essentially done for this first part of the LGT is we've been inviting on sort of like fan favourites. So for instance, someone requested that Reece come on. We also mentioned in the chat about Ramsey.
With the 70 intercessors.
Yeah, exactly. So we're kind of picking interesting lists, or lists that look particularly nice or are a bit gimmicky. Whereas tomorrow it will be the top tables. We'll be showing you the most competitive games.
Probably expect to see some more Gene Stealer Cult tomorrow.
Yeah.
Nick Nanavite is obviously still here. Won his first game by a landslide, 40 points. There's various other players that are great with Gene Stealer Cult still available. What you will find in this event, guys, is that because of the size of it, almost 400 players, Elliot, we can see 20-25 players that'll be on 5 wins. 20 players at least.
You don't get a true winner, do you, with a 5-round event?
Not in that
this
regard.
large.
Unless there's 2 players that have 42 points and got 2,000 kill points every game. That'll be the only situation where you'd be a draw where they both deserve to win. But I think having a 6th round would really tie it over in that regard. But nevertheless, if you want to win the London Grand Tournament, you've got to win every game by an absolute landslide.
It's tough.
It is tough.
Hard to do.
So we're going to go into our table 1. It's not table 1 of the event, but we call it table 1 because it's the table 1 that we currently focus on with the stream. This is with James Ramsey and Michael Hooper in the Space Marines. This is Eldari. Okay, so you have some pre-game information, don't you?
I have just a little bit. We could probably do some of it at the same time as the list, though. So if you want to...
Yeah, sure. So I'll just grab the list up. I mean, as you can see, James Ramsey with the Imperial Fist Space Marines that you can see on the screen, guys, he won the roll-off. We're currently playing Cut to the Heart as the mission, and the deployment is Vanguard Strike. You can see that on the left-hand side of the overlay.
He has chosen to go first as well, obviously, as we've seen.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, he's got so many bolters. You want to get them bearing down as fast as you can. So looking at James Ramsey's list first, because that's the one that's currently being deployed, folks. Excuse me, we have an Imperial Fist Indomitus Crusade detachment. We have a Primaris Lieutenant with a mastercrafted bolt rifle, Stalker bolt rifle. We have a Chaplain. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units of 10 intercessors. The Sergeant has a chainsaw. They all have Stalker pattern bolt rifles and 2 auxiliary grenade launchers. Then we have an Ancient with a Stormbolter, and then we have the Siegebreaker Cohort Battalion, and we have a Primaris Captain with a mastercrafted Stalker bolt rifle, who is the Warlord with the Vox Espiritum and another Chaplain as well. Then we have another unit of 10 intercessors, 2 units of 5 infiltrators, and 3 units of 3 eliminators. So that's a total of 89 Primaris Marines plus 4 characters. So that's 93 Primaris Marines.
And just to...
that's a lot of wounds.
There is a relic banner in there as well.
Yep.
Obviously, because why would you not be rocking that?
Is that the banner of the Ancient Ascended? Or Emperor Ascended, that's the one.
Yeah.
So that was recently nerfed in the new book, but it's still great, especially when you have that many bodies available.
And there is a Warlord trait as well, Artisan of War.
Okay, brilliant. Anything else to report from pre-game from Ramsey?
I can tell you that the secondaries that he's chosen, he's got Big Game, Gangbusters, and Engineers. Engineers, I mean, that's a That seems like a straight pick for 70 intercessors.
Yeah, so big game, engineers, and gangbuster. We will just briefly talk over Michael's list shortly, which will help those secondaries make a little bit more sense. But I think they're right. Like I said before, James is an experienced ETC player. I'm sure he plays a lot of ITC as well, obviously from Team England. So I'm sure he will have had a hard think about those secondaries.
Yeah.
So just as I mentioned, just to tie over into Michael Hooper's list, he's rocking an Eldari army. So he has an air-wing detachment of Cabal of the Black Heart, which you would expect. Very plug and play, just gives you access to that vector, make sure that you can sort of deny your opponent's best strategy as and when it comes up.
Yeah.
We have a Razor Wing Jet Fighter, a Razor Wing Jet Fighter, and another Razor Wing Jet Fighter. That's 3 Razor Wing Jet Fighters, folks. They're very, very plug and play, very, very simple. 135 points, nets you 2 disintegrated cannons, the Razor Wing missiles, and a twin splinter rifle. All of which are incredibly useful and very, very points efficient. Then we have a Prophets of Flesh Battalion. We have Homunculus. We have Urian Rakarth. We have 3 units of 5 racks. We have a unit of 3 Talos, a unit of 3 Talos, and a unit of 1 Talos. So that's 7 Talos total. And then we have the Mask of the Sombre Sentinels, a Vanguard detachment from the Harlequins. We have a Shadow Seer, who is the Warlord, who has the Warlord trait Player of the Twilight. And we have 2 Death Jesters and a single Solitaire. And a unit of 6 Skyweavers, 4 with Zephyrglaves, 2 with Bowlers, but all of them have the Haywire cannon, so that's 6d6 shots from the Haywire coming into the vehicles, of which Ramsey has not a single one. Could be a mismatch in that regard, although the poison from the Drukhari stuff maybe will help. Jeff Desters from Hobo J in the chat, that's an absolute mouthful. So from the outset, Elliot, what do you think? Oh, there's some pre-game stuff from Michael as well.
There are, yeah. I don't know if I'm not an Eldar player, so
yep.
They don't make too much. I'm assuming that Curtainfall is a Warlord trait they stuck on his Death Jester.
I'm not actually too well versed with Harlequins either.
Okay. In fact, if we could,
it might be a relic, possibly a Warlord trait. But either way, the Death Jester has Curtain Fall, and the player of Twilight is the Warlord trait on the Shadow Seer.
So
and then Star Mist on the Solitaire as well.
Star Mist on the Solitaire. We go through their secondaries. So
yeah, brilliant.
The Engineers are going to be the red and purple based troops.
Okay. The Racks, I imagine?
Yep.
I mean, the Racks don't have any guns, so they're happy to sit still and just hold on to those objectives anyway.
Yeah,
with the way that the Curtain Fall is a relic bell hanger. Thank you very much for clearing that one up. With the way that the terrain is and the way that the boards are set up, so the boards are identical on every single table. We have 2 big L's in the middle, 2 hills at the top and the bottom of your screen respectively, 4 small L's in the corners, and then we have 2 bits of scatter terrain in either side of the board. With the way the board's set up, racks don't really have a purpose other than to just sit behind line of sight, rack up some points, be engineers, that kind of jazz. So that makes perfect sense. So we've got engineers, we have Recon as well from the Eldari player, and we have Mark for Death, and we'll find out which units that's on momentarily, but you will be able to score Mark for Death points from every unit of intercessors because they are over the power level cap that is required.
Just in the spirit of telling you guys what the engineers are. So the engineers for Ramsey, the Marine player, are going to be the black and purple base.
Okay, so more intercessors. What you can expect is there'll be the guys right at the back of the screen there in the top right. Intercessors are notoriously hard to shift when they get inside. The fact that there's 10 of them, the fact that there's 10 of them in cover, that's 20 wounds with a 2+ save, and there's no ignoring line of sight guns available to...
And if you're shooting at them, you're not shooting at the big threats, right?
I mean, there's no other big threats, there's just 70 intercessors.
No, but in a typical game, if you're shooting at troops like that...
Look at the deployment. It's quite interesting to see because, I mean, I don't think anyone's ever seen an army... JJ, a.k.a. Albino Boy, thank you very much for the follow. I don't think... I personally have not seen an army like this. I mean, people have spoke about the power of the Vigilist detachments and the power of Space Marines, but I've not witnessed something like this before.
No.
Ever, I don't think.
I think it's very interesting that you've all got 2 mindsets. I mean, we were speaking to Nick over dinner, and he was talking about the Math Hammer versus the sort of like toolbox lists.
Okay.
And these lists that are a bit more, they have the tools and they're very situational, and they use stratagems, and it almost seems like we've kind of got that matchup a bit here. I mean, we've got the Flyers there. Flyers are consistently good and will damage everything.
Yep.
And then you've got the more sort of, I guess, no, I'm not going to say skill dependent, but situation dependent and knowing when to use those stratagems.
Yeah.
For instance, I know the intercessors have some tricks up there. I know slips up their trees in terms of dealing with flyers, etc. They have some cool new rules now, don't they? So it's really interesting when you see players who can use those stratagems to pull off really unexpected things.
Yeah. JJ, aka I'll just call you Albino Boy because I'm sure that's what your name suggests. or JJ, whichever one works for you. They are Imperial fists, yeah. Hopefully this second view of the table will help you work that one out. I've just noticed as well that the Eldari from Michael is painted like Hello Kitties. So they're white primarily, with pink, purple, and sky blue. So I'll try to go to a top down and you can see how these planes are painted. But I would say it is Hello Kitty Eldar. See, you can see them in the bottom of your screen, guys. Hello Kitty Eldar. Orange Butch Miniatures, thank you for the follow as well. Alex Harrison says, yeah, I'm not sure if that's yeah they are to Imperial Fists or yeah they are to Hello Kitty Eldar. Anyway, that's table 1. We'll go look at table 2 now. We have Reece Robbins versus Jamie East rather. Apologies for that. So I'm not sure who has first turn. I think Reece actually won first turn here. The handshake has just been had, so that makes me think they're going into Reece's movement phase now. As you can see from the deployment, Reece has been relatively aggressive. Reece deployed first. He's put them scout bikers at the front, the repulsor at the front. Obviously, he has access to the stratagem to be able to redeploy, which makes things a little bit easier. It looks like Reece has gone for... Sorry, my overlay hasn't quite updated yet in regards to the players here. We'll soon find out what secondaries each player has.
Can't write that quick. Okay. So I got the devs.
One second, I'm just getting an update from the table here, folks.
Yeah.
And then putting the intercessors on the hill is a great shout. Obviously, they don't gain cover, but it gives them access to shooting things from a higher distance.
Yeah.
You can see the Scorpius battle tanks, which is dedicated transports, in the bottom left of your screen from the Imperial player, which was primarily Admech, but he does have a shield captain in there. Looks like I can see 3 shield captains in there actually. 1 to the left of the screen, and then 2 at the bottom, just behind the hill. My eyes, the Xenos have fallen to Slanesh. Yeah. Nobody likes to see white and pink Eldar, ever. It's a crime against humanity.
Using Eldar's bad enough.
Yeah, the Exploding Sixes are really good. What's the Eldar list? I've already been over it, Alex, but it's basically Mark Rumblehome's list. So we've got, instead of the Grotesque, he has Talos. He's got 7 Talos, 3 Razor Wing jet fighters, and then a battalion, obviously, with Yuri and Homunculus, 3 units of 5 racks. The Talos, which I've already mentioned. Then he has a Harlequin Vanguard of a Shadow Seer, a Solitaire, 2 Death Jesters, and a unit of 6 Haywire bikes. So really, really similar to what we've seen across the ITC from Eldari players, especially the likes of Mark Cromwellholm. So now we're looking at our table 2. Hellbrecht, thank you for the follow, which again, as we said, was Reece Robbins versus Jamie East. Again, apologies, the overlay hasn't updated. We'll try and keep you up to date with that as much as possible. Have you got any information about the secondaries from the players on table 2?
Yeah, so I know that Reece is going to be taking Recon, Headhunter, and Big Game Hunter.
Okay.
And Jamie is going to be taking Mark for Death on the bikes and the Repulsor. And then...
The Devastators?
And the Devastators as well.
Okay. Okay.
Only 3 points, that's it.
And what's the rest of his...
What are the other secondaries?
Just finding out the other secondaries here,
You've
folks.
not.
Give me just 1 second.
That was the... Unless I'm missing them, can you...
No, I'm sure we'll get them in a second.
Butcher's Bill.
Is there an Eldar list without
And
the flyers
Recon.
from Ty winning? Probably not. I mean, Eldar flyers are just so good. Eldar flyers are just so good. They're so points efficient. They have so many minuses. The reason why you see so many Razor Wing jet fighters is the fact that they're only 135 points, which is far cheaper than a Space Marine flyer. And in regards to Eldar flyers, being -2 to hit is huge. It looks like we might have an update from Tank from around...
Which is good timing, really, as well, because these guys are kind of just doing their first bits of deployment. Not much happening, so...
First movement phases, really, as well. I mean, it's Reece's turn now, but they're still deploying over there on table 1. We'll head over to Tank, and we'll have an update from the rest of the event hall.
Hello, everyone. Bit of an update for you from the floor. I'm starting to sort of focus into the higher up tables now. We're starting to get like an early lay of the land. Given that this is just a 5-round tournament with so many players, it's going to be really important towards the end of the tournament determining the winner who's dropped the least points. So if you get a win with sort of not super high points, maybe like a sort of 20-point win early doors, you're kind of almost out the running for winning the whole event. So if anyone's got any requests for people you want me to give you an update on, put it on the chat, and I'll be happy to do that for you. But some ones I've picked out for you here. We've got James Marsden with a really cool pure Black Templars list. He's playing Mani Chima with Eldar Flyers and some Guardians as well, but mainly Flyer spam. I actually saw the roll to go first, and classic Mani roll. Mani's going first in that game. So it's not looking good for James. The only thing he's really got, he's not really tooled for Eldar planes. The only thing he's really got which can deal with him is a Smash Captain. So not looking great for him there, but we won't write him off yet. Tom Layton, he went first with his Triple Knights and Triple Thunderfires against James Grover's, I'd say kind of a balanced Eldar list. He has about 3 Flyers, 3 Wave Serpents, and a bit of a toolbox list. Tom won the roll. Tom took the first turn. However, he only managed to kill 1 Warwalker with all his shooting first turn. And Tom thinks he'll lose that game, knowing Eldar well and having played a lot of Knights recently. James McKenzie gave first turn... James McKenzie, he's with his GSC. He's playing Ash Loftus with his 4 Knights and Rusty 17 Admech Battalion. Ash won the roll to go first and gave James first turn, which James wouldn't want. But that'll be a really tough game for Ash, because Knights struggle against GSC. Interestingly, Ash was using a similar screening stratagem to what Tom Layton used against Nick Nanavati yesterday, actually screening with the Knights and putting them up front. Malik Rubio, he's once again got first turn with his super aggro gunline, and he's playing Yori Omering with kind of a balanced Drukhari list, and I think that'll really hurt for him, and it could be sort of an early shower for Malik and his opponent, but we'll see on that one. Mark Pocock, he's got like a 100-odd Plague Bearer Nurgle list. He's playing Anthony Chu with the 12 Flyers or whatever it is. Mark Pocock took the first turn and flooded the board with Plague Bearers, and just as I left from Chewie was starting to doom and jinx some of the Plague Bearers, and it'll just be a case of does he have enough shots to clear enough Plague Bearers in time. Mike Porter is playing Greg Chamberlain. Mike Porter with the Guard and Blood Angels. Greg Chamberlain with kind of the classic Chaos list with the 60 Plague Bearers and all the characters stood behind. Not much gone on in that game yet, but given that that's the list that Mike Porter's been playing most of the year, he's going to know that like the back of his hand, which might give him an advantage. Nick Nanavati's playing Sid Sidhu, who's... The meat of his list is 3 tank commanders with plasma turrets and a lot of Versus Praetor bikes, about 12 to 15. Interestingly, Sid won the roll to go first and gave Nick bottom of turn, which is kind of what Nick usually wants. So not much gone on in that game yet. Sid was just shooting some Brood Brothers, which were like the only thing he could see when I left. So I'll give you an update on that shortly, and I'll throw you back to the stream now.
Thank you very much for that, Tank. As always, nice to hear from you. Nice to hear from the rest of the event as well. Like we said, we have 400 players here this weekend, Elliot. Getting a little bit of insight into some of the games around the hall is really great. And thank you very much for that, Tank. Thank you also to Load82 for the follow. While Tank was talking, we did actually get some updates from Table 2. So do you want to run through some of them, Elliot?
Yeah, so Reece went first, as we know. He has brought the drop pod in. Well, at first, the Ancient, the Apothecaries, the Librarian and the Devastators are all in the same drop pod. Inside the Repulsor we've got 9 Intercessors and the Khan.
Okay.
The normal Khan, it would be Cassaro, I believe, would be in the Repulsor. Yeah.
Is that Cassaro in the Repulsor?
Yep, Cassaro with 9 Intercessors in there. In the Admet tanks, they have 8 priests each in there. Wow. And then moving on to the movement phase, I can tell you that the Vanguard advanced. They got a 19-inch move in the end because of their advance, because of the White Scars.
The Vanguard vets.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
it's interesting that it didn't start them in Deep Strike. But I mean, if it thinks it can clear the ground fast enough, then fair enough. I mean, they all have storm shields, so they're going to be pretty tough to shift. I mean, obviously they only have 1 wound each, which is a little bit of a durability issue. But having the 3+ invul helps out a hell of a lot.
Well, again, it comes back to.
Looks like we just saw Reece pick some intercessors up there. Can we get confirmation from the table as to what exactly happened? They decided against bringing them out.
Essentially, what was going to happen is he was thinking about spending a command point to disembark after moving.
Oh, okay.
I think he's not doing that anymore. So I think he played with that idea, and we've just seen them go back in the case. So I'm guessing not.
Okay.
Reece's list is a perfect example of that kind of janky toolbox list that we see is really popular in the States. You've got the sort of very situational. It's quite an odd list to look at. I mean, you've got stuff like the Grav Devastators inside a drop pod, which you don't really see. That was all the rage in 7th edition, but I actually haven't seen that sort of unit for 2 years.
That's just come out of the woodwork from the stratagem that's in the new Space Marine book, whereby you can reroll your failed wound rolls and damage rolls, which is horrendous. So what you'll often see is maybe 1, maybe 2 units of these inside drop pods, very cheap and efficient. You drop them down staggered, so then you can use the stratagem on both units as they arrive at different times, different shooting phases, and they both get the job done. They don't tend to stick around, obviously being 1 wound, 3+ save Space Marines. Anything that has a little bit of punch will definitely take them off the board. But another strategy you can do to get around that is sort of put the 4 Grav Cannon Grav Amps in there, obviously the Sergeant, and then just put some ablative wounds in, so 5 guys with bolters, and then as people shoot that unit, they're killing the bolters, and not the guys with the Grav Cannon Grav Amps, Elliot. So
it's a very, very interesting list. I really enjoyed watching it play yesterday, and it'd be interesting to see what you can do here. But it's one of those things where like you could watch it even play against the same army, with a different setup, different mission, and he was going to play it in a completely different way because of the all.
For sure. I also hope that Reece remembers that the bits of scatter terrain on the side do count as craters when they charge, which will be -2 to the charge roll. It just occurred to me we haven't actually been through Reece Robbins' list yet, so I'll just quickly run you through that before we get any further into the game. So, and also obviously through Jamie East. So we have Reece Robbins rocking the Brigade detachment of White Scars, affectionately known as the Red Scars. He has Kusaro Khan, a librarian with a force stave, a Khan on bike, Scout squad, a scout squad, a scout squad, a scout squad, and another scout squad. Another one. That's 25 scouts, 5 units of 5. A unit of 10 intercessors, an ancient, an apothecary, a unit of 10 vanguard vets, 9 with chain swords and storm shields, 1 with a thunderhammer and storm shields. And then in fast attack we have a unit of scout bikers for 209 points. You can get 9 storm bolters, 9 twin bolt guns, and obviously the shotguns as well. And then we have the attack bike with a twin bolt gun and heavy bolters, and then another attack bike with a twin bolt gun and heavy bolter. Then in heavy support we have a thunder fire cannon. We have a devastator squad, again with the grav that we spoke about before. And then we have a unit of eliminators, 3 with the bolt sniper rifles, which could be a problem for those admech characters that Jamie is desperately trying to protect.
As he moved them into
and then in the dedicated transport, we just have 1 repulsor.
He's redoing it.
One repulsor with a heavy onslaught Gatling cannon, 3 storm bolters, an onslaught Gatling cannon, a twin heavy bolter, a crack storm grenade launcher, a heavy stubber, and then a drop pod, which puts those grav cannons in. Novocaine for the Soul says it's Mohawk playing. I'm not entirely sure if Novocaine is playing. Not Novocaine, sorry, Jay. I know that he did dip out of game 1 because he wasn't feeling too well. Not sure if he's back for game 2. Remains to be seen, unfortunately. Load 82, BCP is amazing. The whole event is on BCP, so if you want to see any of these lists at any time, please feel free to go on that and have a look. Just to quickly touch on Jamie's list before we get any further, Jamie has a lot of stuff. Jamie's playing Admech and Adeptus Custodes. There we go, put my teeth back in. We have a battalion which is Stygies 8. We have Tech Priest Dominus, Tech Priest Engineer, Skitari Rangers, Skitari Vanguard, a unit of Sidonian Dragoons. It looks like a unit of 4 Sidonian Dragoons with the Taser Lancers. We have 1-2 units of Fulbright Electro Priests. We have 1-2 dedicated transports of the Scorpius Dune Riders, and then we have 2 Onaga Dune Crawlers, both of which have the neutron lasers. Sorry, one has a neutron laser and one has an Icarus array. Then we have a Spearhead of Admech. Again, this is Stygies. We have a Tech Priest Engine Seer, an Onaga Dune Crawler as well, so that's 3 Dune Crawlers in total. 1 more Scorpius, so 4 Scorpius, 3 Dune Crawlers in total. And then we have a Supreme Command Detachment of the Adeptus Custodes, where we have 3 Shield Captains on Dawn Eagle jetbikes with Hurricane Bolters. Tried and tested, very, very good, very reliable. get the job done.
I can tell you now that the one of the shield captains is on the 3+ invulnerable relic bike.
Okay, yeah.
And the warlord trait is the one that gives them a 5 up feel no pain.
Brilliant. So nice and tanky on those Custodes shield captain there. I'm not entirely sure at what point in the game we're at on table 2, but we'll just go ahead and check out table 1.
So some updates just quickly for table 2 before we move on. So the Vanguard actually advanced over a crater and they realised that it was going to make them -2.
Yep.
So Jamie's really kindly allowed Reece to... They're still going to treat them as advanced. They still got the 19, but basically he's just moved into a different position on the board.
Okay.
So he wouldn't have messed himself up.
Well, I mean, what you can see here from Reece is he's just trying to hide, essentially. He's trying to put everything in a position where the admitted player potentially has to move and incur penalties for firing and moving and firing heavy weapons. Certainly I can see from the Doomcrawler's positions there on the left-hand side of your screen, it might be difficult for them to see the repulsor. It might even be more difficult for them to kill anything of value.
Now the Vanguard have also got -1 to hit.
Okay, from the
second
power.
powers off, yeah.
Excellent. So those Vanguard veterans are -1 to hit with a 3+ invuln.
The Scout Bikers have also advanced on there as well.
Do they get Jink? No, that's a 7th thing. Thank God that's gone. Can you imagine Eldar flies with... Oh no, I don't even want to think about that. So should we go ahead and check out table 1, Elliot?
Yeah, of course.
Brilliant. Do we have any updates from the table at all?
Yeah, so just quickly, we mentioned the Psychic Powers. So we have got Veil of Tears over there and a Twilight Power.
Oh, from the Harlequins?
Yeah, from the Harlequins,
brilliant.
yeah. So we got those two.
Yeah.
There was... Ramsey went for the +1 to wound stratagem.
Okay.
To spend 3 CP. It was vected.
Oh, wow, it's vected.
So it's not gone off. They're the only updates I have. I feel like we're getting a slower game over on table 1.
I mean,
there's more happening on table 2.
I think the list itself will lend itself to that. So obviously we have James Ramsey on the left-hand side of what you can see now, guys, with the 90+ Primaris models. So yeah, this will be a slog. I don't know if the bolters are going to be enough to take out this Coven force with some flyers. Maybe it will be. Remains to be seen, but those white, pink, lilac and sky blue Talos are hurting my eyes. Are they hurting your eyes?
Yeah, you can tell it's messing with the white balance on the stream as well. They're so bright. It's making everything else look really bright around it.
Sometimes it's nice to see...
They look nice and different in person.
Yeah, for sure.
I wouldn't have them myself. They're not my style of army. But I can appreciate it.
It's that obnoxious army where if you lose, it makes it 10 times worse because the army's pink and
yeah,
white.
Whereas if you're the sort of player that can go out there and smash people with one of those lists, it doesn't matter how terrible your army looks.
Exactly. I mean, it's painted nicely, just with questionable colours. We'll leave it at that. Not much more to say in that regard.
Not down to the skill, just the decision.
We'll go down to the top-down view. As you can see with the Talos deployment as well, they're basically at the front line. He's going to want to get these into combat with those intercessors as fast as possible, locking as many up as possible, stopping them from being able to shoot. I mean, intercessors do have plenty of attacks, but I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to be strength 4 attacks. Especially with the Vigilist attachments, they get more attacks because these are veterans. At least some of these are veterans. So they get an extra attack when they charge, be charged, or heroically intervene. Obviously, they're not characters, so they won't be able to heroically intervene. So if they get charged or be charged, make a charge or get charged in the first round of combat only, they'll have 4 attacks. Some of these veteran intercessors. Sight to behold.
Space Marines are getting there now, aren't they?
They're well on the way. I don't think that we'll see them winning the event anytime soon. Maybe I'll have to eat my words. They may well win the Invitational this evening, Elliot.
I think people are scratching the surface with it so far, aren't they? People are figuring out really strong combos. Yeah. But we've not got the optimum list yet.
No, 8 PM British summertime today, we will see an example of one of those potentially optimal lists with Joshua Deff, who overcame Nick Nanavati in round 4 of the LGT Invitational.
Yep.
So he advanced to the final. GSC are not in the Invitational final. If you meant the Open itself, then possibly. I'm not entirely sure what's going to win. There's plenty of Eldar flyers around, plenty of Imperial soup. There's lots and lots of nasty stuff, Elliot, around us.
Yeah, I'm really... I was actually almost a little shocked seeing GSC for the first time.
Yeah? Why did it shock
Terrified me. I was there thinking I could get into competitive 40k, that's okay. And then as soon as you see the GSC on the field, it's horrible.
Yeah, it's not fun. Who's in the Invitational final, Orange Rush? We have Joshua Death from previous ITC fame from the US. He's rocking Space Marines, pure Space Marines. And then Conrad Bartkuix, who is rocking Eldari. It's actually Azuriani because it's pure Eldar. He's got 5 planes, 3 fire prisms, and a smattering of characters on bikes, and 3 units of 8 Storm Guardians. Spudman 1, will it be streamed? Of course it'll be streamed. we're bringing to you 30 hours of 40k coverage over this weekend. We're almost halfway through, just about halfway through. We've got two more games after this one for you today, 2 more games on Sunday, and then that will be a wrap. But we've covered 4 games yesterday. This is game 2 of 4 today. What time? It'll be 8 p.m. British Summer Time. So that is in approximately 5 hours and 24 minutes. We'll be going live with the final of the Invitational. So just to remind you guys, the Invitational began with 32 of the best and most coveted 40k players around the world. All of which were vying for that top spot of the Invitational. Of course, it's a knockout event. So what you see is that we start with 32 players. We have 1 round that goes down to 16. Victors only advance. And then we have 8 players. That goes down to 4. And then last night we had the semi-final. The semi-finals were Joshua Death versus Nick Nanavati. Joshua Death pipped him to the post there. And then we had George White and Conrad Bartkiewicz, both of dice down. And Conrad ran away quite comfortably with that round there. Have we had any updates from the tables, Elliot?
Yeah, I can wrap both of the turn ones up for us.
Brilliant,
first. So starting with the table that we're on, table 1.
Yep.
So the Eliminators killed the Shadow Seer in the shooting phase.
Wow, okay. I mean, there was 9 Eliminators.
Yeah.
So you could really have done with hiding that a little bit better. I mean, the thing with these Eliminators that catches a lot of people out, some of the guns ignore line of sight, Elliot. So you can shoot through the walls.
Yeah.
And that's obviously what's happened here, and maybe he's been... I guess it is impossible to hide them if they can ignore line of sight, right? So I'll eat my own words. That was a stupid thing to say.
Yeah.
Range is the only thing you can rely on, really. Sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
No, that's okay. So we did get Gangbusters. Kill 1, hold 1, but only 3 points that turn.
Yeah.
Going over to table 2 as well. So Reece opened up with the Repulsor into one of the Scorpius tanks.
Yep.
They're all still on the table, so I'm not sure how successful
quickly,
that was.
We'll nip over to table 2 just while we're in the movement phase for the Eldari player.
So yeah, he's fired this Repulsor at one of the Scorpion tanks. I'm guessing it's this one down to the middle of the board.
Yeah, the centre there.
They draw easy line of sight too. And he's got kill 1, hold 1, and recon.
Okay. So relatively successful turn for Reece as well then. Kill 1, hold 1, recon. He can be happy with that. I think he's going to unload the grav train soon. Choo-choo. I'm not sure how much work these Scorpiuses are going to put in, along with the along with the Dune Crawlers. I mean, Dune Crawlers have the potential to do loads of damage. The D6 shots is relatively swingy, and the fact they do D6 damage is also swingy. It's like the Doomsday Arc all over again for Necrons, where you can't really rely on anything working for you because they're all D6, and everyone knows how fickle that D6 roll can be at times.
So he's going to be wanting to shut down those Scorpius because they're good against units with fly.
Yeah.
Those anti-air cannons, so those bikes will have it if you can't kill them.
Exactly, and some of the models for the AdMech also ignore line of sight.
Sorry, the vets.
Yeah, the Vanguard vets. Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Yeah,
and the Repulsor as well, obviously with the fly keyword. The Scout bikes should be okay. They don't have the fly keyword. They seem pretty safe at the minute. Again, some of the guns on the Scorpius do ignore line of sight, so maybe all Reece's hard work to sort of shoehorn himself into the center of the board out of line of sight, maybe all for naught if the Scorpiuses go online and go Super Saiyan, Kamehameha. But that remains to be seen. We are just currently in Jamie's movement phase, and you can see how aggressive he's being straight away with those shield captains and Dawn Eagle jetbikes.
He needs to get up there and make him go with the back foot, because Reece is going to have a plan. We know he's got a plan. He's a good, experienced player.
Yeah.
So if Jamie can try and put him on the back foot and change his plan, he's immediately at disadvantage.
Yeah, for sure. Lol DBZ puns. Shut up. So, Stygies 8 obviously means that he's going to incur that -1 to hit from a long distance as well, which makes him slightly more durable in that regard. Still pains me that Reece plays white scars, but they're painted red. That hurts me a little bit. All this talk about the war on terror, why don't we start the logical place, this nation's haunt? I can't believe I nearly read that out.
So just next to, you could see Mikey's feet there on the stream. So that, yeah, there we go. That shield captain up there, he's the warlord.
Left.
Yeah.
Yep, in the top left near that Scorpius.
So he's playing more reservedly with him, but obviously the other two have flown straight up to that bubble.
And there goes a dice straight off the table. I thought the second one was going to go straight off as well, then that would have been embarrassing.
Okay, so just getting some small arms fire. Yeah. Getting the Vanguard vets are being popped off by the Rangers.
Now, yeah, so these shield captains of Dawn Eagle jetbikes are famous for the hurricane bottles they carry as well. Not that they're particularly interested in hurricane bottles, but they're just so mobile and they can always be in rapid fire range. You just get so many shots bearing down on you.
Yeah, and Mikey's just told me that is exactly what's happening as well. The hurricane bottles are firing into those Vanguard vets.
What is Elliot and yourself running at the minute? Oh, in terms of armies, what are you playing at the minute, Elliot?
So currently don't play much 40k.
No.
I tend to just be playing whatever's offered to me to make a fool of myself on the channel. If I was to take an army next week, I would take a load of plague bearers, a tree, and 3 Dorados.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking to take. That's what I'm looking to take to
nice.
To November.
Oh, to Amsterdam.
Yeah, to Amsterdam.
Yeah, okay. To the Alliance Open in Amsterdam. Nova Game for the Souls. Would you like to hear a joke about lentils? Sure, go ahead. Tell me a joke about lentils. I'm a bit scared.
While we wait for this punchline, I can tell you that the first bike has killed 3 vets.
3 Vanguard vets, okay.
Yeah, and the second bike's killed 1.
Just with Hurricane Bolters. See, this is the issue. When you have a 3+ invul, it's just the same as a 3+ save. So you almost lose the effectiveness of that. What's the difference between a chickpea and a lentil? I'd not have to pay a lentil.
Yeah, transport's now opening up into the vets as well, so it looks like he's really trying to get rid of those Vanguard vets.
That is a funny joke, actually. Equally disgusting, but it's very, very funny. Have you read it yet? Elliot's shaking his head.
It's just a shake of the head.
In disgust. Get that attitude out of the stream. Nobody has time for that. Diagnosis, I am coming to the Alliance Open too, yes. In answer to the question, what would I take? What am I playing, sorry? I'm currently an open book. Obviously, I'm playing the Grey Knights, staying true to that. But I'm looking for a competitive army, and I'm in the hunt for one. I'm trying to decide on what I want to play. I'm not making any rash decisions until, obviously, we finish the September FAQ. That's coming relatively soon. I think we can imagine a lot of changes. One change that we all like to see would be limiting the amount of flies you can have to 3. I think that personally would be great. It almost null and void some of these Eldar lists straight away, but you've seen that, certainly from Conrad, I mean, 5 flyers are still a lot, but you don't need 8, 9, 10, 11 flyers to do well. Eldar are still in a good spot. If I had to go to an event like this tomorrow, I'd probably take Space Marines. I think there's so much flavour and
they're very
difference.
versatile.
Yeah, they can do everything. They can do everything.
That's always what Space Marines were. They were always sort of
they're supposed to be like that, right?
average. Yeah, they were good at everything.
Jack of all trades,
amazing.
master of F all.
Yeah.
That phrase comes to mind. Although now currently they're the master of fire and strength 4 weapons because you get so many Volta shots. It's unreal. Wednesday or United? United. Hate Warnock. What's wrong with Warnock? Neil Warnock's a legend. So we just got an update from the table, Elliot. Anything to report on?
Yeah, so the second transport has used the stratagem to give it +2 to hit.
The Scorpius.
Oh, the Scorpius. Sorry, not the transport.
No, there's still a transport.
Oh, is it still a transport?
Yeah, even though they have so many guns.
So is
still
it
transport.
Is it the difference between a sort of like a Razorback and a Rhino?
Mikey's looking at me
all
all
confused. Carry less,
confused.
but it's got more guns.
There's a reason why he's got 4, Mikey.
Yeah, Mikey, you don't even know how to play Warhammer.
Oh, has he got 2 of the different types? That makes perfect sense. Okay, so he doesn't have the transport ones. Yeah, you can see. You can actually see the ones top screen and bottom screen that have the transport capacity.
Yeah, so one of these ones
open.
at the back, the actual Scorpion, he's played the stratagem to give it +2 to hit, and he's going to be firing into the Vanguard vets.
Brilliant. Oh yeah, so there's a Scorpius Dune Rider and a Scorpius Disintegrator. Okay, so the Dune Rider is the transport and the Disintegrator is the heavy support. We saw Rickard Nielsen rock 3 of the Disintegrator, the heavy support one yesterday, and they're packing the 3 Cognos heavy stubbers, a single broad spectrum data tether, the Disruptor missile launcher, and the Ferrumite cannon. Ferrumite, Ferrumite cannon. These guys rocking at 116 points, Elliot, that's it. And they pack a punch for that. They really do. And it's 73 points for the Scorpius Dune Rider, who basically just has 4 heavy stubbers. Is Mikey off trying to get more subs? No, Mikey's working hard as a table boss on table 2 with Reece, Robbins and Jamie. And we have obviously Danny Brook working hard on table 1 with James Ramsey and Michael Hooper. Should we go and check out table 1, Elliot?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got some updates for us.
Brilliant.
So I can tell you at the start, the Solitaire did blitz. They blitzed for 22 inches.
Yeah, so the blitz is a crazy ability. They're so fast, Harlequins. And you can see straight away that the game plan for the Eldari player I don't know why it's called Eldari when you don't actually have any Eldar, but that's just the name of the overall faction.
Yeah.
His plan is to get into those intercessors, get them locked in combat, and try and keep them in place.
I think the Eldari is the name of like the entire.
Thanks for the following. It's the
Space elf race,
yeah,
the same way that we're human.
Yeah, it could be confusing to newer players like myself that only started in 8th edition.
Because I grew up with them as being Eldar, or Dark Eldar.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they're Eldari. I mean, that makes sense. And we'll just go to table 1, second view, and have a look at this sort of front on.
So there's a lot of shooting going on at the moment. Yeah, so we're right next to these planes, which is good because we do know that the two of the planes, the two that are closest to us, the ones that we just got in the shot here next to the duck, they fired into the leftmost intercessors, so the ones up towards the middle of the board. Only killed 3 of them.
Could be a problem.
Yeah. Also, we have the. So I think essentially what's happened is Ramsey's played transhuman reflex. I can't get my words out. Transhuman
physiology.
That's
the one. It's the way you can only be wounded on a 4+.
Can only wound on a 4+, so that's negated quite a lot of the damage output there.
And when that's on a unit of 10 intercessors, some of them may be in cover. That's going to be difficult to shoot.
Yeah. The Death Jester has gone into the chaplain.
Okay.
Don't believe he's done anything.
All right.
So that whiffed.
So his snipers are not as good as James's snipers.
Yeah, the Eliminators.
Just getting another update from the table now, folks. I can see Danny working hard over there as a table boss. See what information comes our way. Nova came for the souls. Does this show have Texas
so I've just
donations?
been told.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
The Solitaire got a 12-inch charge. Gone flying up. He's gone blitzing in. Loads of attacks. Obviously, they're like a blender.
Yep.
Killed 1 intercessor.
Are you joking?
No.
What?
1 intercessor.
That baffles me. Genuinely baffles me. So that single Solitaire moved 22 inches in the movement phase, charged 12 inches, with a total of 34 inches, and he was so thirsty for blood, all he did was kill one intercessor.
Sorry, that was the Eliminators.
1 Eliminator, sorry, okay.
Yeah, but he's got into combat with them, so.
How many... Danny, if you can hear me at table 1, how many how many Eliminators are actually tagged in combat now? Is it all 3 units or just 2 units? We're just getting an update there from the table. We'll go to the top-down view so you can hopefully see that. Just right, thank you very much for the follow. I can hear Danny giving Elliot an update just in the corner of my ear now.
So there's lots of attacks coming in. So one of the squads were killed by the planes.
Okay.
So we've already lost a squad of Eliminators.
And it looks like they're both tagged in combat
yeah.
now.
So with that 1 that the Solitaire's killed, we've got 5 left.
Okay, and it looks like
I only think he's in combat. He's only in combat with all 5.
Okay.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
You can see in the center of your screen just to the right, guys, that Solitaire currently tanking all 5 of those Eliminators, and the other unit of Eliminators was destroyed by the plane. So all the Eliminators are going to be out of action. Well, Novocaine, you're a legend. Thank you very much for that. We appreciate that. Joshua says these Elder look like they've been very comfortable at Rio Carnival. It's beautifully painted and it's very striking. It's something you don't see all the time. But in the same vein, it is a little bit obnoxious. But no, that's all those Eliminators tied up, guys. So that means they're not going to be firing their guns at any of those squishy characters anytime soon.
So Michael is out of CPs.
He's out of CPs?
Yeah, he's give +1 to wound and fight again to the Solitaire.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, alright, okay, sorry, mistake. It was a +2 strength, not +1 to wound.
Okay.
Yeah, but either way, he's fighting again. Obviously, he's got loads of attacks.
I mean, that will equal +1 to wound, essentially.
Yeah.
The strength will allow him to wound on another +1 based on where he was previously, that's all.
Oh, there was a yes and then an immediate no.
Yeah, I saw that from the table. So Michael was very animate. He said yes, 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 and then said no, no, no. We'll soon get an update from the table to find out what happened in that regard. Looks like he's taken off another Eliminator. Maybe some wound markers.
1.5 Eliminator has been killed after swinging again. So that's all of his CP. 2.5 Eliminators.
And that is a lot of attacks as well. So James must have rolled pretty well for those saves there.
Rolling hot. Imperial Fists, what do? They stay in buildings and don't die.
Yep, that sounds about right. Stalwart in the trenches. They're not
staying
going
there. Best offense is a good defense.
The best offense is a good defense of a guy in a yellow-clad suit of armor that doesn't want to move anywhere. And apparently they have Oh no, they don't have red fist. That's Crimson Fist. I'm an idiot. Novocaine says he thinks Twitch is onto him. What for? I'm baffled by this. So, first of all, we'd like to extend our thanks to everyone that's tuned in so far over the course of the weekend. We've had an incredible viewership, and we're very grateful for that. So thank you if you've been a part of that at any point of the weekend. We still have the Invitational Final to cover for you guys this evening. We still have 2 more games tomorrow. We're going to have a great time this evening. So if you can tune in at 8 PM British Summertime, please do. We're going to be rocking the London Grand Tournament Invitational Final, and it's all going off. I've just seen Danny on table 1 getting very excited about the combat phase. Wow, did those eliminators kill that solitaire? Is that what I'm hearing from the table? Where's the solitaire gone?
It's dead.
The solitaire's dead?
The eliminators have killed the solitaire. Go on, lads. Go on, lads.
Man. Blimey.
Now, there's some charges going off on table 2.
Jesus, should we flip back over to table 2?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Okay.
So,
Fill me in,
just
Elliot.
let's wrap up the shooting phase first. So, the neutron laser fired into the repulsor. Now, neutron lasers are really good at killing tanks.
Yeah.
Not today, apparently. Only
Okay.
4 wounds.
Yeah, so this is what I was saying earlier about them being swingy. Like a pendulum.
Yeah, that's the only thing you get with these random sort of wound weapons.
Yeah. Well, we can see the shield captains are in there, in the thick
The
of it.
shield captains, they spent a CP to get in, but they're both in now.
Yep.
Also, I believe the Electro Priests were dumped out and made their charge. I think they're in the building.
Yeah, so the good thing about Electro Piece, Elliot, is that when you kill a unit, you get that 3+ emblem.
Yeah, they just basically go, I'm going to take your electricity and turn it into a force field.
Like a Super Saiyan. Just swinging the staves around like General Grievous. General Kenobi. So many updates coming in, guys. We'll try and keep you posted with all the information that is flying at us. Smiles all around so far from table 1 and 2 at the Hellstorm stream. So.
Hiya, just
hi,
a quick
Mikey's
one.
here. Hi, Mikey.
Hiya. So the shield captain in the middle hit the Vanguard vets.
Yep.
Caused 3 wounds, failed all 3 saves. The Vanguards then spent 2 CP to interrupt. The Thunderhammers all hit, all missed, re-rolled, all missed again.
Oh,
that was
my
8 Thunderfanner rolls. So all gone.
Wow.
So basically 2 CP wasted and all the Vanguard vets are dead.
2 ZB wasted, all the Vanguard vets are dead. You heard it here first, right? It does look like a Horus
Hundreds
Heresy
of Marines
game
just
over
all
on table
huddled
1.
in together.
I think we might
Big
have an update for the rest of the event from Tank. Is that right, Tank? You got an update for us? Yeah, cool. I'll swing you guys over to Tank and he'll give you an update for the rest of the event.
Back in a minute.
Hello everyone, quick update from the floor. So we'll look at Manny Chima with his Eldar Flyer spam against James Marsden's Black Templars first. Manny had moved and was just starting his shooting phase, and I watched a bit of that when I was down there. Comically, Manny fired 9 scat bikes at the Invicta Warsuit. Had a bit of a spike on the dice, actually managed to kill the Invicta Warsuit with 9 scat bikes. The Invicta Warsuit then blew up. To both players' surprise, it does D6 mortal wounds to everything within 6 inches. And it did 21 mortal wounds spread across 5 planes that were all stood around it. So that might make that one a bit more interesting. Tom Layton has had a lot better second turn, and he's got a bit of a brighter outlook on life now. And he thinks he's got a chance now against James Grover with his kind of balanced toolboxy Eldar list. James was saying he made a couple of errors as well. James Mackenzie with his GSC against Ash Loftus with his 4 Knights and Admech. That's kind of going down like GSC and night games typically do. To quote Ash, he said he's getting spannered. When I saw the game, there was 1 Knight dead, but James was starting to really pile on the pressure and trap him in the corner. Malik Rubio with his aggressive Imperial Met gunline. He's playing against Yori Omring with like a balanced Drukhari list, like nothing too spammy. Malik sort of went to work on his first turn and actually killed most of Yori's anti-tank options. And Yori's still got some plays left, but he told me that with only 2 Ravagers left, that could, as his only tools that could hurt Malik's tanks, it's going to be an uphill struggle for him now. Malik having all 3 of his Caladiuses left, and his Scorpius, and his tank commander with a relic battle cannon still. Really attritional game between Mark Pocock with the sort of 100+ Plague Bearer Nurgle list, playing against Anthony Chu with his 10+ Flyer list army. The game at the moment is Mark Pocock has the middle of the board, he's on most of the objectives, and Anthony's, it's just a case of can Anthony shoot off enough Plague Bearers before Mark gets a big enough lead on points, essentially. Mike Porter with his Guard and Blood Angel characters having a very close game with Greg Chamberlain so far, with the sort of classic Chaos list, 60 Plague Bearers with characters behind. They told me that Greg had a very good second turn. Sorry, he made a charge with his Zangors, and he also managed to kill one of Mike Porter's Wyverns with Obliterators. And that's quite big in that game because the Wyverns are a good tool for Mike to help him clear those Plague Bearers. Nick Nanavati against Sid Sidhu. Nick with the GSC, Sid with a lot of Versus Praetors and 3 tank commanders. Nick had a good turn 2. Sid made a bit of an error and left a gap at the back of the board where Nick's 5 demo bites could line in wait and drop in 3 inches away. And they killed 2 Custodi bikes, just Praetors, not characters. And Sid also made a bit of a positioning error with a tank commander trying to get a line of sight with it. And that meant Nick could bring in his Roxors and kill a tank commander and also wrap one of the screening units after it was dead. So I'll take you back to the stream with Toby.
Again, huge thank you for you, Tank, for that update. Like we said many times, it's always good to hear what's going on around the rest of the event, rather than just keeping your eyes focused on 2 games that we have covered for you guys here. We're just back in table 1 with James Ramsey. It's his turn 2 now in his shooting phase. You can see there's only 2 planes left. The Thunderhammer Eliminators, what they will be commonly referred to as, they took out a Razorwing Jetfire from the sky. And another Razorwing Jetfire is down to 2 wounds. I don't know what to say. Space Marines are doing it for themselves. Sisters, heroes, men, gods amongst men. I'm just going to flip over to table 2 as well, because we did hear... Oh, Mikey's here. Hi, Mikey.
Hiya.
Do you want to update us about table 2?
Yeah, sure. So this was an interesting one because... Obviously, Reece went first, and he said himself that he kind of messed up in the deployment because he just went too bloodthirsty too quick.
Okay.
He shot out with the Vanguard Vets, which he shouldn't have done.
Yeah.
That was an expensive unit. He should have deep struck them. And now, in that combat, he's got 1 Vanguard Veteran alive.
Okay.
And the reason he kept that alive was to deny Jamie getting kill more because he only killed 1 unit.
Right, okay.
But Reece got hold more because he's holding the middle objective as well through on this board. But also, because Jamie made the long bomb charge with the Custodes bike to the right on the objective, he rolled like a 4 and then CP'd and got a 6, so he got a 9-inch charge. Actually managed to get recon there as well.
Wow.
That's big. Yeah, that is super big.
Good. So good shift there.
So Reece is on a little bit on the back foot now. He's just like.
So what does he have left in the drop pod to come down, Mikey?
So in the drop pod, he's still got the 3 characters: the Apothecary, Librarian, and the Ancient, with the Devastator squad.
Okay.
Still to come in.
There's still plenty of punch there.
There's still plenty of punch.
Is the Devastator squad the 4 Grav Cannon, Grav Amp, and then just a side?
It's just 1 Grav Cannon.
Okay.
So when them bolters.
So there's not really a lot there then.
No, so he's obviously got the repulsor with the intercessors inside still, even though they jumped out and then jumped back in.
Seems like Reece, there's a little bit of indecision on Reece's part. He's not entirely sure how to approach this game. Yeah,
he was kind of saying that like if 1 shield captain got into the middle, he'd be fine, but because 2 got in, it's kind of screwed him.
Yeah.
Because the first one, which made the longest charge, did the most damage. Killed like 4 vanguards, while the other one only killed 1. And then obviously interrupting to do nothing with that Thunderhammer, it was just like GG.
I mean, how many guys did he have fighting with the Thunderhammers? 8 guys?
No, it was 8 attacks. It was the sergeant, so he has 3 attacks and then +1 because he got charged because of shock assault. So 4 attacks, rolling to hit, missed, re-rolling, missed. 2 CP. So he's actually only down to 4 CP now. which is like
that's not good.
big, which is really big. Yeah.
So we'll see it. We'll see what plays out in this game.
I'll make sure the score gets updated.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you for that, Mikey. Thanks for the update. So we have JJ, aka I get it wrong every time. We have JJ or Albino Boy, whichever one you want to be referred to as. Where can I see the Imperial Fist player? Where can I see the list that the Imperial Fist player is using on table 1? Well, you can see it on stream now. But if you want to see the list itself in a text document, you go over to Best Coast Pairings on your phone and you search for James Ramsey and you'll find his list. He's from Team England fame. Yeah, it's a massive tongue twister. Try saying that fast. The Imperial Fist list. So just a few. So Latasia, Warhammer 40k Sweden, Mr. J5711. Thank you for the follows. We appreciate it. Thank you to everyone who has been a viewer over the course of the weekend so far. Irfan, thank you for the follow. So we're just looking at James now. It looks like he's still in his shooting phase. Plenty of stuff has been destroyed. And there go the bikes. There go the Haywire bikes. Wow. What? I don't have anyone in my ear, unfortunately, Dan. I can't hear what he's saying. But we'll get an update very shortly about what happened in that regard. Sukula Minke. I apologise if I butchered your name. I'm fairly confident I did. Approximately how much of the field are playing the new Space Marines? We don't have the information for that. There's information on that on the LGT Facebook page. I think it's about 40% of the field playing some form of Adeptus to starters, and that will cover the umbrella of things like Grey Knights, things like Blood Angels. Placings are hidden on Best Coast Pairings. We're not entirely sure why. We're just here to stream the event. We don't organise the event. But placings are often hidden to prevent people knowing what they're playing in the next round. So pairings will be available, but placings are generally going to be hidden for most events you go to, guys. The new meta is going to suck. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be the meta. I think a lot of people are playing Space Marines because they're new and fresh, and it's just a bit of a change. So what you will find is that some of the more experienced players, they'll have been playing tough, complex, competitive armies for a long time now, and when something new like Space Marines comes out, like Novocaine says, it's just it's just different to the Imperial soup that you see so common across the tables, or the Eldari stuff that you also see across the tables. 1 second, folks. So Dan's actually coming over just to give us an update from table 1. Hi, Dan.
Hey, Toby.
How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, it's good fun.
Good stuff. Have you got an update for table 1?
Yeah, so Ramsey has been unloading into the planes. As you can see, there is a lot. There's 2 less than what he started with. 2 less than what was started with.
Oh, brilliant.
So, these.
How's he killing him?
These Primaris, mate, are just unbelievable.
Is he just shooting bolter after bolter?
Just bolter after bolter, yeah.
Wow.
The heavy ones.
Is he rocking the strength 5 ones?
Are they the heavy?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what he's got.
And the -2, I think.
And he's got the 2 chaplains, which are doing +1 to hit, +1 to wound.
On the closest enemy target, yeah.
Yeah, so...
so he picks the unit at the front, fires at whatever's in front of him, and he gets +1 to hit and wound on that unit.
Exactly. So
it all adds up, doesn't it? It
2
really
planes
does.
out, the bike's out, and he's having a really
And is he in the
good
tactical doctrine now? Is that why he suddenly started dying?
Yeah. And those, like I say, those chaplains have been absolute money for him.
Instrumental.
Yeah, and the solitaire going in fighting twice after being blitzed.
I can't believe the Eliminators turned around and went smack and just killed him.
Yeah, I'm just going to fight again. You're fighting again.
I fought against the solitaire with my Bulgrin at Heat 3 or 2, the one that was last month.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even kill that guy.
I know, and they just gone.
And they just went, get out of here.
Just punched him.
Slap.
Rifle butted him. Bang. So.
Man, I can't believe it. I can't believe how well it's doing. I mean, a lot of people probably wrote this off and thought, why has he got so many Marines? But they're really doing the business, aren't they?
Tank and I was saying, like, this kind of visualization here is like the front cover of Horus Rising.
Yeah, man.
It's just like wave of
It's
Marines.
like a Horus Heresy army, isn't it, really? Just Marines.
Yeah,
you just need some dreadnoughts and then be sorted.
It's just mental. It's nothing I've seen before on the tabletop.
It's crazy to see. So do you think these Talos are going to become a threat?
Yeah, that's what's going to be interesting now when these Talos come through and start hitting those the wall power armor.
Yeah, the wall of Marines.
Obviously, they've got the banner in there, the relic banner.
Yeah.
So if they die, they'll be, I guess, swinging as well. So they're going to get all the attacks now because of the new rules on the Space Marines and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, so like I said before, if one of those units of intercessors are veterans, they're going to have 4 attacks when they get charged in the first round of combat. And they're only strength 4, and what you find is the Talos are probably going to be toughness 7.
Yeah.
If they're near Urian and the homunculus, that gives them an extra strength as well.
And all these guys as well are technically in cover when they're within range of one of the characters as well. So
it's crazy. So they've all got 2 + saves.
Yeah.
The synergies are amazing. I mean, you could see a list like this doing really well across the entire event. It seems like it can do with flyers pretty fine, just firing those bolt rifles.
I couldn't believe it. Just removing the flyers really easily. Michael has rolled a little bit cold on his saves. Especially with the second plane that went down, which then exploded.
Oh no!
But then he only caused one more to win, but then made the feel no pain.
Okay.
So that plane, his brother next to him, didn't get touched.
Yeah. So obviously, Danny, you have an affinity for chaos, don't you? Really?
I do. Yeah.
How do you feel about not seeing many chaos lists at the Invitational doing well?
Well, I'm hoping we get one with 2 wins next, so we might be able to bump up onto the stream.
Yeah, because the chaos went out relatively early, didn't they, in the Invitational?
Yep.
Why do you think that might have been? Just the power of the flyers? Did they struggle against flyers naturally, or was it the Space Marine list?
Flyers, and there's over 175 Space Marine lists here this weekend.
Get that written down, folks. So maybe I was right with the 40%. So it's Adeptus starters, isn't it? So it's stuff like Blood Angels, Dark Angels will go into that as well.
All these
primarily
new
this new book. Primarily this new Codex Space Marines and the supplements that come with it. I mean, I dread to think if there was more supplements available for this, it might be more than 175 lists.
Oh, it'd probably be more like 50, 60%.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just because it's new and exciting, right?
And you wouldn't have said that probably 8, 9, even longer
even like 6 weeks ago, if someone said to me there'd be 175 Space Marine players at the LGT, you'd go, shut up, what are you talking about?
Yeah, you high.
What are you talking about? So obviously we've got Josh Wood, Def and Conrad in the final of the Invitational later on this evening, rather.
Yes.
If you were a betting man, Danny, I don't know if you are, you don't have to disclose that to the stream, you can keep that to yourself. Where would you put your money on that?
I'll go with Josh.
Josh Day is locked in. Josh Day. Why is that?
Just with those hunters,
Yeah.
I think he has got the tools, and with the Chaplain Dread hitting on 2s to deal with comrades,
Yeah.
I reckon, like he did with Manny in round 1 of the Invitational.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if you guys were here with us for that or heard elsewhere, but Josh Wood Def actually played Manny Chima, the number 1 UK ranked player in the ITC, who's actually rocking, I think he's got 8 Eldar flyers, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's it.
And Josh swept through him without much of a problem. I think Manny only scored 12 points, Josh was in the 30s. So really convincing win in that regard. I think Josh actually designed his list to counter these Eldar flyers.
He did, yeah.
And he probably assumed he'd see a lot of them in the Invitational, which is quite right. And he's doing really well against them.
Yeah, so that's where my money is, guys. I think he'll easily, if he goes first, he'll easily take 3, maybe 4 flyers.
You think that many?
Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
That's a bold statement.
We'll
Danny.
see later
that's
on,
a bold
guys.
statement. We definitely will see later. So tune in at 8 p.m. British Summer Time this evening to find out what happens in that regard. Do you want to nip over to table 1 and keep
so
me updated?
I'm going to go update the score because I know it's now Michael's bottom of turn 2.
Brilliant,
so
and you can see the Talos emergence, so we'll find out from the table what the plan is in that
exciting
regard.
to see what happens with that.
Good stuff. Well, thank you for the update, Danny.
You're welcome.
See you soon. Okay, so we'll flip back over to table 2. Elliot is just rejoining me. Elliot.
Yo, what's up?
Do you have some updates from table 2?
No.
You don't?
I don't.
Okay, can we get some? put the earphones in and get some. So Mikey's
Hello, Michael. I'm ready.
Mikey's on the telephone to Elliot now, giving him some updates about what's happening on this table here. We'll flip to the side view and look at these spicy red white scars, the red scars. Oh, you can't really see much. The big terrain's in the way. So we'll go back down to top down. That seems to make the most sense. It's only seeing 4 lists under the Twitch stream for Josh, Def, Stevens, Frankie not seeing. Yeah, so I'll JJ, you won't see that on that. That is purely for the invitational. That so we don't have access to the all 400 lists here outside of BCP. So if you want to see them, guys, you've got to log on to BCP and find them. We don't have all the lists there. Do you have some updates for me, Elliot?
Yeah. So basically, it can all be summed up as tons of stuff in the middle opened up into the shield captains.
Okay.
Wasn't able to kill them.
All right.
And now I believe there's a squad of scouts.
It looks like one might be dead, as he killed one of the shield captains in the centre, but not both.
With scouts.
Cool.
So it was just bog standard scouts did the rest of the heavy lifting. So
The heroes
something that
of the
the
Imperial.
scout bikes couldn't do, the lone unit of scouts did on their own.
Yeah, so unfortunately the BCP sub...
okay.
You will have to be a BCP sub to search it if you're not a member of the event. That's a general thing with the BCP, unfortunately. Sorry, Elliot. You have some information?
So essentially, the scout bikes opened up with like all their 60 shots into the shield captain.
Okay.
And did like 2 wounds or whatever.
Cool.
And then the normal scouts killed him. with like their 5 shots or whatever they have.
Well, I mean, this seems to be the case across the board, really. The stuff that's supposed to do well doesn't, and the things that don't do well do well. I said do.
Do well.
Thank you again to all the viewers that we have currently watching the stream. Again, just to reiterate, we'll be going live at 8 p.m. British Summer Time with the final of the London Grand Tournament Invitational. We've already heard Danny Brooks' take on that, Elliot. Danny suggests that Joshua Deff will come away with the victor in that game. Where would you put your money, sir? Obviously, we have Conrad Batkiewicz and Joshua Deff, Eldari Flyers versus Space Marines in that matchup.
You see, I had a good chat over dinner with Tank, actually.
Okay.
And I was before this conversation.
Yep.
I would have said Conrad.
Right. Okay. But Tank has changed your mind.
Yeah.
So that must mean Tank also thinks Josh Deff's going to win this.
Yeah.
Okay. So what was his compelling argument that made you change your mind?
Well, not only is it an Eldar list,
right?
Eldar Flyers specifically, the Space Marines are very good at dealing with now. He's got the Hunters and like the Scorpius and stuff.
So the Hunters, if you guys don't know, the Hunters have 1 shot each, but they get +1 to hit and reroll hits against fly. And there's a stratagem to make them wound on a +1, and any 6 to wound on modified 6 becomes 2d6 damage. That could be a problem. I mean, all it takes is for one of these to whiff, and that's going to be a problem. But Josh is a very skilled player, and Josh actually has Master Artisan as one of his chapter tactics, or his traits, sorry, for those custom chapters that you've seen in the book. And Master Artisan lets one unit, or the unit, reroll a single hit and a single wound roll. Well, funnily enough, the Hunters only have 1 hit and 1 wound roll there, so they can reroll the hit and wound roll. So it makes them slightly more reliable. And for 80 points, I think they're like 80 points, maybe even less, 75 points, something like that. But toughness 8 and 1 shot that does d6 damage? Yeah, they can do the business. I'm going to back Conrad because Conrad's my boy. I think Conrad can take it still, but it'll definitely be a very good game. Looks like we're just getting some more updates from the tables. Elliot, have you anything to interject?
I was blanked by Conrad yesterday, so I hope
Joshua.
I hope Josh kills him, gives him the big death.
Way to make it personal, Elliot.
So I think we look like we're going to get some updates from Table 2.
Okay. I still can't believe he plays red white scars. What a shame that is.
Yes, right, okay, so the intercessors. So my favourite thing about yesterday's game with Reece is he kept using the Cyber Eagle and getting rolling a 6 and getting mortal wounds on him. Okay. And he kept going every time he did it. The power of the Eagle. And now what's happened, the intercessors have just fired into the transport.
Okay.
Left it on 1 wound.
No.
And the Cyber Eagle has managed to do it and kill the transport.
We just seen Reece do his caw and flap his wings over the table.
He's loving using that eagle.
That's what it's all about.
The white scars are red, but at least he's getting into the spirit of it and using that Cyber Hawk.
I see him come to the table with a katana next.
Right, okay, and now the Thunderfire unit's going to rip into that unit that's just come out of the burning transport.
Yeah, okay. So this will be good. It'll be another Killmore, hopefully. I mean, they're electric.
Danny, I'm really sorry. It's you mute. Your sound's gone off.
So Suka Laminique says that his problem that he finds with Space Marines, and specifically Iron Hands, is that it's not going to be hard to play at all. Well, we'll soon find out with 175 lists at the LGT Rocking Space Marines if they are easy to play or not. You'd have thought with a field of which 40% of the list are Space Marines, they've got the best chance to win, right? And if they don't win, then they might not be that easy to play. It takes away all the finesse from 40k when someone can put 3 Dreadnoughts in an aura and make them practically unkillable. I agree with that to a certain extent, but that's been something that's been replicated and spammed across the table for a long time now. Eldar Flyers, for example. I mean, there's a lot of skill in where you position them, don't get me wrong. Target selection, also a big priority in that matchup. But they're practically unkillable, right? Elliot's just walking up to table 1 just to get an update from the table. And Hobo J says if it's too OP, it's going to be changed. Generally speaking, that's the rule of thumb. But I think they'll get missed by the September FAQ. So if we do find out OP sequences and combinations, they will only be touched in the March FAQ or the April FAQ, the one that's in spring. Eldar Flyers is super skill intensive. You can see that from the game we had previously with Orcs versus Eldar with Jordan Clifford and Boris Mitchev, where Jordan Clifford was actually playing with 8 Eldar Flyers, and things went very bad very fast for him. Elliot, have you just got an update from the table?
Yeah, so we're having a few technical issues, so I went and got the detail in person, but essentially everything in the army, the Eldari army.
And table 1, should we go have a look?
Everything fired into that second squad of Eliminators that had 1 guy left.
I can see Eliminators there.
Whiffed.
No.
It took the plane, the Razor Wing, to kill the final Eliminator.
Okay.
And now I believe the Talos are going for a charge. Oh, it looks like they
made it successfully.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they might fail. Well, I mean, they can't fail, but they might have to take some Overwatch at least, whether that's
the Talos are in now. So, I don't know. He's had a pretty harrowing... Michael's had a pretty harrowing first couple of rounds, but...
Yeah, it doesn't look particularly great. I mean, if these Talos start making a mess, I mean, they each have 10 attacks with chain flails. It looks like the unit at the north of the board or the top of the screen, maybe outside of the buffs from the Homunculi and Urian, which is going to give them 1 less strength than they deserve and 1 less toughness, which may be a mistake in the long run. But you do get 10 chain flail attacks per Talos, so that's 30 attacks, and chain flails reroll failed hits. So they could make some mess, and they'll be strength 6 or 7, so they're running a freeze regardless.
Yeah.
Hello there, Hellos on Gold. Thank you for the follow. Any more information to update us on that?
No, not particularly, no.
Okay, so we'll just keep looking at table 1 for the time being. It looks like, look at all those intercessors he's picking up. So they're 2 wound models each, folks. That's a lot of damage. Yeah, like someone pointed out, it is going to be a rough 6 months for the SEC meta if Space Marines end up being this unstoppable force that some people like to see them be. They will be unchangeable until 6 months down the line, so that could be a problem. Look at that.
I mean, we've seen really tough metas before. We're always going to see tough metas. At least this is Space Marines being the tough meta, you know.
Strike SCT says, is this the list that spams Stalker, Pattern, Bolt? Yes, it is. 70 intercessors. Each of them has that. 2 auxiliary grenade launchers in each squad. So that's 14 grenade launchers. And then 9 eliminators with the Thunderhammer eliminator guns. Forgive me for not knowing their name.
So the Talos that are near the hill have managed to wipe out that green intercessor squad.
Yep.
So
it seems like there's a lot of interest in James Ramsey's list, so I will just access this on BCP now and read this out to you guys because people seem to be dumbfounded by it. It's working really well so far. Let me just grab that. Elliot is just receiving some information from the table.
Yeah, so the other squad of Talos, I think, cleared eight intercessors from the other unit. So the Talos, they're in combat now, and they're certainly winding up.
Neil can't be touched to a certain extent. I mean, they have had their book FAQ, but I think he means in regards to the September FAQ, if there's anything drastically...
Go to the top-down view.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
all happening in the middle of the board now, apparently.
Okay, cool. Just in regards to the September FAQ, that's all. I agree with Cannon Fodder. I don't think Space Marines are going to be anywhere near Ynnari in their peak. The Ynnari peak was insane. Insane. So we're still receiving more information from the table. Just looking at James Ramsey's list now for you folks. He's supposed to be on table 72 if anyone is trying to find him on BCP. We have the Imperial Fist Indomitus Crusade Battalion with the Primaris Lieutenant with a mastercrafted Stalker Bolt Rifle, and then a Chaplain. As we've heard from Danny at the table, we've got the litanies of +1 to hit and +1 to wound stacking up on them, hitting the targets that are close to him, closest target, +1 to hit, +1 to wound.
That's better.
10 intercessors, 10 intercessors, 10 intercessors, so 60 intercessors. All of them have the Stalker Bolt Rifles. All of them have 2 grenade launchers inside that squad. 172 points for 20 wounds of really reliable guns, especially with the Tactical Doctrine. And then we have an Ancient in the same battalion with the Stormbolter. And then the Imperial Fist Siegebreaker Cohort. We have the Primaris Captain with a mastercrafted Stalker Bolt Rifle. We have a Chaplain again. We have 10 Intercessors. Same thing, Stalker Bolt Rifles with 2 auxiliary grenade launchers. We have 5 Infiltrators, another 5 Infiltrators. And then we have 3 Eliminators, 3 Eliminators, 3 Eliminators. Oh, Neil Kirkhonen with a hot sauce. There might be a few blanket rules in the September FAQ that affects Marines. Nudge wink. Okay. Neil, if you want to elaborate on that, then please do. That could be very spicy.
We've got 11-4 4 for that game.
Benson1296 says, at least Yunari wasn't forgiving if you make a mistake. To a certain extent, but I mean, when you can shoot twice with Dark Reapers, you don't really need to be forgiven. You just kill anything you shoot at, so... Oh, sorry, yeah, that's right, Albino Boy. Stalkerbot Ruff has a heavy, so I apologise, he will just stay in Devastator Doctrine.
I mean, Imperial Fist want to be in the Devastator Doctrine,
That's then effective at the start of the game, basically. Yeah, sorry about that. My mistake. I don't play Space Marines, as I'm sure you'd know. Some more information coming from Table 1 in regards to these combats. I think James needs to be able to pull out of combat. It looks like he might be able to. I don't think the Talos would be able to wrap anybody.
No, so, and also, what he didn't realise, what Michael didn't realise, is they're actually fearless because of the chaplain. So, even though they lost 8, they're not going to run, they're going to stay in combat.
So it's still going to be 1 unit killed just to the eliminators, I guess.
The Talos aren't just going to be able to force morale and kill the Marines that way.
So, am I right in thinking that it is currently 11 points to Ramsey and 4 points to Michael, is that right?
That's what I have. I've not heard anything different.
Brilliant. Yeah, so if we haven't heard anything different, we'll assume that is correct.
Real. Over on table 2, there's some funny things going on over on table 2. So,
okay, let's check this out.
So Reece essentially,
the red scars.
Yeah, has just been charging everything.
Okay.
The Vanguard veteran has come back into combat.
Okay,
on his
the
own
one that was left.
with the Thunderhammer.
Yep.
How many wounds did he have?
1.
Shield captains?
Oh, shield
7?
captains.
He did 6.
He did 6 damage.
He did 6
2 go
damage,
through it. I mean,
left
it
him
looks
on
like-
1 wound.
Is he still alive?
That
It looks
Vanguard
like he might-
veteran has watched all his brothers be slain, and he just thought, not today, I'm going to come and knock you in like a nail.
Oh. Okay, so Neil Kerr, okay. You can't elaborate, I understand that. But you can say things that have come up at the pre and during LGT have been looked at. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Hopefully the September FAQ drops shortly after the LGT. And we can see the changes.
Oh, Mikey's very interested now.
I mean, Mikey's
Someone's
interested.
talking about Codex Space Marines.
He piqued his interest.
Mikey's getting all twitchy.
Just breathed straight down my neck, and that was awfully off-putting. So you can see the Sidonian. Are they called Sidonian Dragoons? I think they are. The chickens. They call them chickens. The combat chickens in the center of the board, heading up to the castle of the Space Marines. Reece is chipping away on points. It looks like Reece is 10 points up, and Jamie's only got 3, so 7 points up rather. Thank you for tuning in on this Saturday afternoon, guys. We appreciate that. It's currently the football season as well, so these guys are die-hard 40k
Die-hard
fans.
40k fans. Just we'll stay on table 2, but just a quick update from table 1. Those intercessors that got smacked. I've only actually done 2 wounds back to the Talos as well,
And that's
so
expected.
not returning.
I mean, they're going to be running that on 5s, which is going to be a real challenge to actually get some meaningful damage through, because Talos are just so tough, 7 wounds each. Real tough to shift, especially if you're in combat with Space Marines. You want to be shooting them really, but granted that's not quite as easy as that. Master Andy Man, thank you very much for the follow.
And just closing out table 2, Ramsey was able to get hold more and kill more.
Okay, brilliant.
Just didn't do enough.
Yeah. It's not quite enough.
Sorry, table 1.
Table
As I'm looking at them, if so from left to right, it goes table 2 and then table 1. So I keep referring to the one on my left as table 1.
Novice. Neil says the football doesn't count. Rugby is all that matters. That's fair enough.
Writing from right to left.
A lot of people have been enjoying the Ashes as well, which is cricket, but none of them are T-Sports or 40k or Warhammer in total. So we'll ignore them fast and get back into the action. Is there anything to report from any of the tables, Elliot? Anything exciting?
No, only what happened at the end. On table 1, table 1, which should be table 2.
So it looks like it's Ramsey's movement phase now. You can see him just retreating there. He needs to start dealing with these Talos. I mean, we'll see the true potential of this list very shortly if he takes out some of these Talos. now 147. Unfortunately, it's not really our place to comment on that. There is an official post put out by the LGT that is on their Facebook page. So for any inquiries in regards to that, please check that out on Facebook. Again, we're just here to stream, folks. We have no part in what happened in that. And if you want to find out, head over to the LGT Facebook page and find that out. So I'm excited to see these intercessors unload into these Talos, Elliot, and see what they can do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shots there, and they're all going to be -2 AP.
Interestingly, a bit controversial from Table 2.
Table 2, should we go back?
The Vanguard Veteran unit has been chosen for Mark for Death. There's one Vanguard Vet left in it.
So when he kills him, he'll get a point for Mark for Death?
But I'm hearing from our people down at the table that this would be considered a bit controversial because it's quite late in the game.
Oh, so he initially only called 3 Mark for Death?
But I'm hearing it is the only viable option. So I guess he's kind of forced into that.
So, hang on, I'm confused. So he only chose 3 targets initially for Mark for Death?
Okay, so what's happened is he only chose 3 at the start. I don't think he realised.
Accidentally?
Yeah, and then...
But Reece wrote the ITC. Why didn't Reece tell him? Reece wrote the rules. Why didn't Reece say, look, dude, you need 4, not 3? Well, either way, it's fixed now. Thanks, Reece, for writing the ITC and writing 40k. We appreciate it. Look at that fade as well. Oof. Hi guys, sorry about the little breaking commentary there. Just had a minor little technical glitch with the mics, but that's fixed now. Can we hear you fine, Elliot? Say hello, 1, 2, 3.
Hello, 1, 2, 3.
Perfect. Looks like it's all running accordingly. So just to confirm the Mark for Death issue on Table 2, we actually had Jamie is not very experienced with ITC, and obviously Reece wrote the rules pack, so Reece said, look dude, you can choose four targets for Mark for Death, and then they decided the final target for Mark for Death would be the Vanguard Vets. It is the only other viable option, so 4 possible targets of Mark for Death are all picked, so no issues there, Elliot.
No.
Is there anything to report from either table?
Yeah, there is a big issue for that repulsor that's now been left on 1 wound. So everything's been firing into the repulsor. It's held on with 1 wound.
Okay.
But I don't feel like it's got much life
left. It's so
left.
big and red and obnoxious.
Yeah, it deserves to die, really. As much as I love red Space Marine armies for the blood.
Yeah, only ones that are of the bloody variety. It looks like Tank is here with us. Tank, do you have an update for us? Oh, he's got a guest. He's got a guest.
Oh, he's got Nick.
He's got Nick. That's what that means.
There you go.
Okay, so we'll head over to that update and we'll find out what's happening around the rest of the event, folks.
Mikey, does that camera look tilted to you?
I think the camera's okay. Toby's giving us a thumbs up. Update from the floor. And I've got a special guest updater again. I'll get him on in a minute because I'm sure you want to hear him more than me. So, Manny Chima and James Marsden, what looked on paper to be quite an easy matchup for Manny, he's actually a bit nervous about now. So, as I told you the first time, the Invicta Warsuit blew up, did 21 mortal wounds spread around 5 flyers that were all around it.
21 mortals.
And then on James's turn, his Smash Captain came out and killed 2 flyers, and he shot a 3rd one off. So Manny's got 5 planes left now.
That's still a lot.
Yeah,
but they're probably all limping with 21 wounds done.
Yeah, the Marines are putting in work on all the tables I'm going to. Tom Layton, he's playing like a sort of balanced Eldar list. Tom's sort of got back on top in this game now. He's only got 1 night left, all his Thunderfires. Tom's exact words to me, he said that essentially Tom's got 1 night left. All of the Eldar players' anti-night, anti-tank options are dead now. So he's sort of running. Tom said he's
one knight versus the world.
Yeah, Tom said the Eldar player's running out of options to kill the knight, but he's not running out of points. He's still got lots of scoring units.
That's like what happened in my game with Tom yesterday.
3 wave serpents. Yeah. Tom said he's killed so much, he's going to struggle to keep killing and keep scoring points. So yeah, Malik. Oh, James McKenzie and Ash Loftus, a GSC and Knights matchup. As I told, Ash said he was getting spanned by the GSC. He tried to screen the same way that Tom did against you yesterday.
Right.
He had 4 knights and he put them in front of his admech and stuff.
Yeah.
But he just, by his own admission, he didn't play it quite as cleverly as Tom.
Right.
And the GSC are kind of doing what they do.
Tom played almost flawlessly yesterday and still lost.
Yeah. So yeah, that's not looking good for Ash. Malik Rubio. He got first turn, as we said, against Yori Omring's sort of a balanced Drukhari list, and he made a mess. He made a mess as you expected, and he's killed all of Yori's anti-tank options now.
Yeah,
and Yori's just struggling to try and stay in the game now, but it's not looking good for him.
Yeah.
Anthony Chu's starting to turn a corner against Mark Pocock's 100+ Plague Bearer list. Like Mark went first and took the middle of the table and most of the objectives. And those two,
Tony's been able to get him off?
Yeah, they just said to me, can Tony kill them in time before Mark gets a big points lead?
Yeah.
And last time I went to the table, they both said, yes, he's killing them fast enough. He's going to win. Yeah. So it's looking good for Chewy. Mike Porter's in a really close game with Greg Chamberlain. Mike Porter's running uncharacteristic of him, Guard and Blood Angels.
Well, he just thinks Chaos is... Right.
Yeah, he actually came on earlier and explained that he brought them because he thought Chaos was knackered. But yeah, Mike had quite a good turn. It's really close now. Apparently, Greg had bought some Zangors in, and they're lining up an 8-inch charge on a Scout Sentinel.
Yeah.
But if he gets a 10 on that charge, he can touch Mike's last Wyvern that's left, and that's big in that game. Right. So
that one's still going?
That one could still have anything happen. And the last one on my list is actually your game with Sid. So I don't
made the list.
as you probably gathered by him being here, he's finished. So would you like to tell us about Sid?
Yeah, sure. So Sid had a tough list for me. He had I think 12 Custodes bikes and a guard battalion with 9 mortars and 3 tank commanders. The guard portion didn't really bother me, but mortars are annoying because they shoot all game and ignores line of sight. The 9 bikes are really bad. They all fly, best keyword in the game. They have 1,000,000 shots, which is obviously really good against hordes, and they have that stupid strat to charge me after I charge him and fight first. So I have to be super careful about how I charge him and stuff. On turn 2, I basically null deployed, so turn 1 more or less nothing happened. We both just held one objective. On turn 2, I made a big push. I brought my rock saws in. I killed a unit on the middle objective, so I got hold more, kill more, recon, all that stuff, and killed a tank commander, and it's kind of set the tone for the match. Then I did really, really cleverly dodged his stooping dive. I made it so if he wanted to stooping dive me, he had to roll 10 to do it while I was killing the tank commander. So a lot of people think of this match like you have to use your Vex stratagem, your generations in the making thing, to just Vex the stooping dive. I really don't want to do that because at that point I'm putting 6 or 7 CP into a charge, and that's way too many. Like you're thinking 3 for perfect ambush, I'm going to fail at something, so I have to reroll something, and then 3 more for generations in the making. 7 CP for a charge really isn't a good trade for me, so I'd much rather just do it by being skillful. So I was able to do that twice, and basically on turn 3 I did the same thing with 10 aberrants. I had to wrap 10 guardsmen without anything near them, which was really challenging. Wrapping guardsmen when you have to attack them, obviously very scary because you could just kill them all. So I positioned super carefully. Only 1 aberrant attacked. I used my bare fist, not my claws, not my picks. So 2 strain 6 attacks. I missed with 1. I failed the wound, so he just survived. I mean, even if 2 died, I was kind of set up for it. And then with really careful positioning, I made it so no one else was able to attack. They were more than 1 inch away from him and more than 1 inch away from my own aberrant, who was obviously had to attack. And then with pylons, that one aberrant got around the side of the unit and clipped to the back of it, and two closest to him just clipped the front of the unit, so I was able to trap them. And then once I trap a guard squad with aberrants, the game's more or less over. He has to then charge his big bike squad into my aberrants to kill them. Mathematically, they're horrible at killing aberrants because D3 damage gets reduced by 1, and I have 5 of Feel No Pain. The whole unit of 5 he had probably kills like 5 or 6 aberrants. I'm going to pop the fight when I die strat, so that'll take a bunch of bikes with me when I go. The 4 or 5 aberrants I have alive will then fight normally. That'll kill a bunch of bikes because they're stop signs at that point. I'll probably pull in away so that I'm still fearless, like the back guy will still be alive. And then going into my next turn, I can just keep charging in. And once the bikes are done, the game's over. So at that point, Sid just conceded. Basically, we just talked through the last couple turns, like what would have happened for the scoreboard purposes.
Brilliant. So, going to get you back to the stream. Just one quick question. In a 5-round, 300-person tournament, are you concerned that it was just a 22-point win?
No, it was 34.
Oh, 34.
It's 34.
Oh, so you're looking good.
I'm looking good, yeah.
Okay, without...
I'd be pissing myself.
Well, thanks so much, Nick. And without further ado, back to the action.
Hello guys, welcome back to the stream. Thank you very much, Tank, for the update.
Yeah.
There's not much Talos left, Elliot.
There isn't, no. So, so the intercessors fired into the Talos.
Yep.
They killed one,
Right.
which then blew up
Okay.
and killed the other one.
Does him a mortal wound, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so he's managed to shift 2 Talos off.
Wow. That's from the unit in the top of our screen, guys, just underneath that hill there.
That was pretty much all he was able to do coming out the closing parts of his turn. So
Okay.
at the bottom of turn 3,
Yep.
he got a kill 1,
Yep.
hold 1.
Yep.
He's maxed out gangbusters.
Okay.
He's got the free big game hunter, which currently makes it 18-6.
Wow.
To Ramsey.
Yeah, there's quite a sizable lead there.
Yeah.
The Space Marines are doing well, Tank. The Space Marines are doing really well.
Hello Kitty Eldari not doing so well.
It's sick, isn't it?
It's just visually stunning.
Yeah, it just looks amazing. It looks
It is a
amazing
visually
to see.
stunning army.
Let's see if we can go to table 1 second view to have a better look at it. So it looks like there's basically just 1 flyer and a smattering of Talos, and obviously the 2 death jesters on top of the building there left for the Eldari player. The Talos here in the front line now could become a problem. It could start wrapping things up, but he's always going to be able to retreat because they're not going to be able to go over to the back and the front. So James looks like he's in a commanding position in this regard. Are you getting some updates from table 2, Elliot?
Yeah.
Let's go have a look.
So, I've just been told that it's just becoming a big welcome to the Thunderdome in the centre, so it's just turning into a massive combat. The chicken walkers, it's a bit of chicken run, they've ran in, they wiped out the scout bikes.
I don't want to be a pie. I don't like gravy.
They don't want to be a pie.
So they wiped out. Wow, all the scout bikes have gone.
So they basically ran in, did a bit of jousting,
Yep.
boom, knocked the helmet off.
It almost looks like from this point of
Pass
view
me my lance!
Reece, the writer of 40k, is running out of steam.
Yeah.
Mikey looked over the table and confirmed that, so we'll see what happens. But
Interesting after such a strong start in the Invitational yesterday.
the Admech Castle seems pretty strong. We've got all 3 of the Onaga Doomcrawlers still alive and kicking. Both of the Disintegrators alive. One of the Doomcrawler, one of the transport ones got popped, but one's still alive at the top of the screen. 2 of the Disintegrators alive, and all 3 of the Onaga Doomcrawlers, like we said.
So from our reporter on the sidelines, Mikey thinks that it might just be... It's been a long day. Yesterday was a long day. There were lots of games of Warhammer. He's now on his 7th... Is it? No, 6th game of Warhammer.
Yep. Reece.
Actually, no, because he will have been knocked out. So
No, yeah, he got knocked out after round 2.
Okay.
So Reece
Still
played
a
2
lot of
rounds
Warhammer.
of
Obviously, he's come from the States as well. So, tired. I think he might just be running out of steam at this moment. He's playing very, very aggressively, which I'm told is not massively his style.
Okay.
So we think he might have made some mistakes. So maybe not a great reflection of...
I think I overheard him from the table saying he fudged up. He fudged up his deployment and was too aggressive. Mikey just confirming that looking away now.
Yep.
The Disintegrators are so good against Marines. Yeah, they are. Relatively low strength. I think they're strength 5, but they're at the -2 AP, -3 AP. So just like a Disintegrator from a Dark Eldar faction, they're going to just cut straight through those Marines like butter.
At the end, so at the bottom of turn 2 for table 2. Table 2, it is table 2 as well. I got that
you
right.
got it right for once.
It's 11-8.
Huzzah. 11-8 to Reece.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jamie is closing that gap then. Yeah, that sounds about right, 40kers. I knew that it was relatively low strength in compared to like a las cannon, for example, but higher strength than toughness 4. I knew it was high negative AP, and I knew it was multiple damage. freeze to wounds, a crap ton of AP, and multiple damage. Everything that is bad news for an intercessor, basically. So you can see Reece with hands placed on the table is really trying to think about this turn. Oh, thank you for the coverage you guys rock. 40Kers, you a gentleman.
Hey man, we love doing it.
Yeah, thank you to each and every single one of our viewers that have tuned in over the course of the weekend so far, and all of you that are with us right now. Your support is the reason why we keep doing what we do. We will be live at 8 PM British summertime with the Invitational Finals, what everyone is waiting for. Checkmate in 1, thanks for the follow. But the Invitational Final is a highly coveted game. We're going to have Joshua Death with his Space Marines and Conrad Barkiewicz with his Eldari. Cakezaws 1, thank you very much for the follow. We appreciate that. Stutz75, thank you for the coverage. You're a legend. Thank you for the support. We're just getting some updates. Viking X, thanks for the follow as well. These are coming in too fast for me to even say them now. Wallissa 2011, thank you for the follow as well. I will get a chance to have a breather shortly, but it's very important that I shout you guys out when you support us, so thanks for that. Elliot, do we have an update from some tables? Just clutching his ear now, listening to the headphones.
He's back. Oh, he's back momentarily. Yep. Yeah, you're back.
So I can see Danny just talking to Elliot now about an update from the table with JP. We'll just flip over to that table, just while waiting for Reece to finish this movement phase. Wow. So here we go, back into the Imperial Fist versus the Talos and the Flyer. The Flyer is just at the top of your screen, guys. It's slightly clipped off.
Thank you
just
for
looking
that
over
update,
the board is still on the board fully, so it's not dead.
So I'm being told.
Yeah, fire away, Elliot.
Yeah, so the Talos have whiffed majorly.
Oh.
It looks like in this entire shooting phase so far, only 2 Marines have died.
Well, the Talos end up being strength 4 minus 1 AP with the Haywire. And if they're still in range of that character, the Imperial Fist get covered anyway.
So the Death Jesters went into the Primaris as well and have also whiffed.
They're just into the Intercessors also, into some characters.
No, just into the Intercessors, I believe.
So whiff her over turn.
Because that's the bulk of the army.
It looks like that's the way it's been going
just
for
loads and loads of Marines down there.
It looks like the way it's been going for Michael has just been Whiff City. Choo all aboard the train to Whiff City.
Ramsey's now rolling really hot in Overwatch, apparently.
If some Talos die in this Overwatch, it could be a real problem. You can see the wound dice moving. He has obviously taken some damage off that.
Yeah, he's taken some damage in the Overwatch phase.
And you'd think now with a 12-point gap and the fact that there's very little molders available.
Just one damage apparently, but still.
Okay.
Better than nothing, right?
Yeah, and like I was about to say, you can tell that from the amount of models remaining for Michael and Drukhari, Eldari, it's going to be hard for him to overcome this 12-point gap. Obviously, Ramsey went first, so after this turn the gap will be closed. But I can't see it being much better.
So he's charged the pink squad.
He's charged the pink squad.
Ah, so when he piles in, he's going to tag the orange squad.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. Yeah. He's going to hit 2 squads basically. After he consolidates or piles in, he'll be able to tag squads. If he's within an inch, they're not going to be able to shoot next turn.
Ah, so Urian's in as well.
Urian made it as well. Yeah, you can see Urian just in between the 2 Talos squads.
Yeah. He made the charge. And
Urian's not great in combat, but it's just another thing to stick in there and make sure that enemy units do get tagged in
he just needs to start blending through them now, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean that's his only hope. You're the only hope, Anakin.
Help us, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're our only hope.
Thank you for clearing up that reference for me, Elliot. Should we head over to table 2 and see?
Yeah, don't be asking Anakin for help.
See what's cooking. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Get a load of anger and sand.
You were the chosen one.
You're meant to bring balance to the 40k, not destroy it. Looking at you, Marine Codex.
Yeah, just Gulliman like this, with a massive old power in his hand.
Daft Gulliman.
He just needs to roll 6s for 3 turns. Yeah, easy. Let's go check in with the Admech and Reece Robbins with his red scars. And as the game progresses, it looks... Oh, here comes the drop pod. Choo-choo. All aboard the grab train.
So the drop pod's been brought in because Reece realised that his repulsor's only going to move 3 inches. So he doesn't really have that movement anymore. So he's going to bring the drop pod in and get those tactical Marines out. Remember, there's still a lot in this drop pod, so I believe it's the Librarian, Apothecary, Ancient, and the Devastators. Yeah, so there's a ton coming out of that. The Devastators are very strong with that stratagem. He still has the CPs. Oh, doesn't have CPs anymore.
No.
Interesting. So the Gravamp, not as good as they were going to be.
Mikey said he splurged his load early. And also reaches out of command points. Lol. Looks like we're getting some updates from table 1. we can go ahead and flip back, just while Reece is confirming where he wants to put that drop pod, we'll flip back to table 1.
Yeah, so in table 1, the Talos are doing what Talos do best. They have blended through that pink squad of intercessors and are now hoping to consolidate into something else.
Okay, so, I mean, this is the thing, as the game progresses as well, the Talos get stronger with the power from pain, ended up re-rolling charges, re-rolling hits.
They're going to take a unit a turn, aren't they?
The chain flails are not fun. Even the macro scalpels at -3, 2 damage. I think they're -3. If they're not -3, I'm sure someone will correct me, but they're definitely flat 2 damage in macro scalpels. So they will just be killing intercessors.
They're going to nail
Bam,
those
bam, bam.
intercessors.
Dead intercessors. Let's go back to the top down. And have a look
No
at
one
this.
likes sand, Novocaine. No one. It gets everywhere.
Some people that are from Tatooine like sand.
Nah.
And maybe
Even
so
they cover themselves with bandages.
the Talan.
So the blue squad of
Mortifying
intercessors
punch
have
for the
tried to be heroes and do some wounds to the Talos. They got 2 wounds off on them, and both
Yep.
were saved.
Okay. Interesting stuff. It will be James's turn next. So we'll be able to see how he can retreat and reply. It looks like Reece has almost confirmed where that drop pod's going to go.
So the orange squad are piling in now to attack as well.
Okay.
So I think he's just trying to do as much damage as he can before I guess he inevitably falls back.
Yeah, AP -2, flat 2. Thank you very much for that, Dave Murray. Danny, if you can hear me, can you just... Oh, he's not listening, is he? He's not listening. Yeah, flat 2 damage. So Space Marine killers, a 5+ save against them in combat. And they're killing an intercessor every time you roll a 1, 2, 3, or a 4. Okay, so we are getting updates from table 1.
Bit of a loud interruption there from the PA system here in the
tannoy.
hall.
Go ahead, Elliot. Do we have an update from Danny at table 1?
So, yeah, just quickly, we've had to do a bit of rejigging, we had to do a bit of conga lining. There was an orange intercessor who didn't move up with his unit because he was hiding. So they forgot he was
been
there.
tangoed.
So they've had to step one guy back to keep unit cohesion. Cohesion.
Brilliant. Okay, and did you get an update from table 2 with Mikey?
No, but I'm sure Mikey can tell us. There's something to do with plasma. I heard the word plasma. It is an admech
Plasma.
table, so I mean plasma is always going to be a pretty good shout. Yeah. No, it is full grav devs, and I believe there's the sergeant just has normal bolter.
Oh, it is full grav devs.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's not just one grav cannon.
Yeah, so there's 4 gravs
Mikey,
in there.
Do you know you can't take him anywhere? There's a full squad of grav
Rubbish.
devs,
No one
but there
allowed
is
to be table boss anymore.
there is obviously no CP available to use the grav stratagem where you can reroll wounds and damage, which would have been great against these chickens. But we'll see what happens when they come down and the grav train comes. Choo choo. Again, thank you to each and every one of our subscribers. Not subscribers, sorry, viewers. Excuse me, we appreciate your viewership this weekend. Everyone that's been tuning in so far, you are absolute legends, absolute bosses. You're the reason why we keep doing this.
Yeah, we love the discussion going on in the chat as well. We've had some
nice and
interesting
healthy.
chats about the meta and lists and
Exactly. It's
been good.
It's good. And when we don't know things, you guys are quick to get in there and tell us. And that's great as well because it helps keep the stream nice and clear.
yeah. None of us are perfect. This is a massively intense hobby.
Exactly.
Yep.
If you guys don't already know, there's this thing called the LGT Invitational. I'm not sure if you've heard about it. We definitely haven't mentioned it this weekend. We're actually streaming the final at 8 p.m. British Summertime today. So please tune in at 8 p.m. British Summertime and check out the final with Josh, with Death, and Conrad Barkiewicz. And that is the LGT 2019 Invitational Final, a 32-man knockout event with 32 of the
Kilmore
best
and
players in
Holdmore.
the world.
Kilmore and Holdmore.
So Elliot's just getting an update from Danny at table
What score
1.
was it? Sorry again. I got the 16. I didn't get the other number for the score.
Just confirming some stuff back from...
Perfect.
Okay, so it looks like we might have an update from table 1
Thank
very,
you for
very
that.
shortly. We'll just
Right, so
quickly flip over.
interesting going over in table 1. So hopefully the score's updated. 18-16.
Wow.
Very, very close. So we did
as
get.
I made me eat my own words as I was
Yeah.
saying that. I don't know if
so
he's going
these
to overcome this
Talos
score.
are really, really bringing them back into the game now. Because
Wow.
they're just going through those intercessors. They're obviously killing a lot.
Yeah, this could be a problem.
This could be a big
So James is
issue.
obviously trying to turn around as fast as he can. Turn around as fast as he can, keep retreating and keep shooting off these Talos. But if he has what it takes, I don't know. It's up for debate. There's plenty of guns, that's for sure. Plenty of shots. So we'll soon see what happens. Kelbar05. What army has been the most popular, if I told you a story and told you that 175 of the 400 lists at the LGT, the Space Marines, would you believe me? Well, you should, because that's true. So 40% of the field is Space Marines, or Adeptus Astartes.
Everyone has Space Marines at home, pretty much.
Space Marines!
I think it's pretty much everyone's starter army.
Elvator Lake says, Elevator Lake, apologies. Great coverage, definitely one of the best for 40k I've ever seen. So thank you very much. That's a really great compliment, and we're very grateful for that.
I love this community, man.
It's good, isn't it? Innit, bruv? We are in London.
I'm so proud of this community. We live in a society, guys.
Oh my god. I love everybody.
No, but it's been so. When you've got good quality Warhammer like this, with fantastic opponents and brilliant looking armies, it's easy to do.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah, it does.
It's easy and it's a joy to do.
You guys and the players make our lives easy.
Oh, the birds failed to do anything. What bird?
Oh, the
Cyber Eagle hasn't done a mortal wound this turn.
That's not fun. So we'll just watch Ramsey sort of worm his way out of this mess that's in front of him. I'm not entirely sure what he's rolling for right now. Maybe a Talos exploding. Seeing how many... I'm not entirely sure what he's rolling for. I'm sure we get an update from the table.
So Guard Daddy's made a really interesting point, so that it needs more drawing on the overlay. So interestingly, we've bought a tablet for it, a graphics tablet, so we can draw on the overlay. We just weren't able to get it set up in time for the... We've got a little bit. We've practiced, but we didn't feel like we had the quality. So we thought best not to do it and get it right next time, rather than try it this time and maybe it sort of take the quality of the stream down. But yeah, that's something that I've actually been trying to get on Hellstorm for years. And I always got the pushback from our Supreme Overlord, Mikey.
We actually had that at the SNGT when we streamed the SNGT.
I remember saying ages ago that I wanted, what's it called? Drawing on the stream, and I was never allowed. Rubbish.
You are not worthy.
Be ready for the Invitational. The Invitational tonight.
Oh.
Is that a promise? Right, okay, so apparently for 8 PM tonight for the Invitational, we're gonna take some time, do some technical workings.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll be able to get that overlay bring.
So that's 8 PM British summertime, guys, and we have Conrad Barkurix with his Eldar, his pure Eldar.
So it's about 4 hours and 10 minutes.
Yep, against Joshua Death with his Space Marines. So if you guys are interested in hearing about discussions we've been having about Space Marines so far, and for those guys who are saying, what does a good Space Marine list look like? Be sure to tune in at 8 PM and you'll find Joshua Death playing with his Space Marines.
I think that list's quite unorthodox, but I think now it's unorthodox now. But I think in 6 months we're going to see that list a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's just a great list. I think we're into turn 3 for Ramsey. It might be turn 4. We'll just get a nod from the table momentarily. But you can see on his clock he's actually only got 29 minutes left.
UK Pagan said, tell them to buy an Etch-a-Sketch. They can pretend it's interactive.
2 oranges and a cucumber is amusing fashion. Well, we don't condone that kind of behaviour on this stream. Yeah, we definitely do. We're definitely going to be doing that. Don't tell Mikey, though. So we're just getting some updates from Table 1 now. I can hear them coming through the tannoy.
Yeah, so basically in the Space Marine shooting phase over on our Table 1, pretty much all the shooting has gone into the flyer and left it on 3 wounds, so not managed to kill the flyer. Marv, 1690. Thank you for the follow.
A subscription, Elliot.
For a subscription?
8 months for Twitch Prime.
8 months?
What a legend. Sorry, carry on with the tip.
And so the other units that weren't in combat with the Talos are now swinging around to charge, and we think that they're trying to get a manoeuvre off so they can move into the middle of the board and to get that objective. Because obviously now Michael is starting to wrap up a lot of points, so Ramsey's going to have to try and be more aggressive and get more of those objectives.
Okay. The Dreadwood says it's good to see some cheeky nudging even this early on in the tournament. What does that mean? Please elaborate on that. Eric Demonclaw subscribed with Twitch Prime. What hero?
Last CP has been used by Ramsey, so that any 6s in the fight phase automatically cause a wound. but that is his last command point.
Yeah, so we have had a few little technical issues in regards to the overlay, on the left-hand side at least anyway. The reason for that is that the ITC Battles app was updated yesterday morning, just before we went live, and it kind of threw us off the scent a little bit.
It was really sweet, actually. The guy, I think his name's Josh DeBoer, the guy who makes the app.
Yeah.
We'd kind of gave him some feedback on the app, and so
yeah, because we've been using it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've been using it, and he said, "Oh, actually, I've updated it," which was really, really good, and we're really thankful. But at the same time, it was updated on the day that we were doing the tournament. So there is also some issues that have come with the update.
So the slight aesthetic problems, where it doesn't quite fit and clips ever so slightly.
Yeah,
are just teething issues that happen with the new.
Yeah,
the new
exactly.
Update,
and this weekend, I mean, as well as I think it's going personally, and we've been experimenting with quite a lot. We've never done two different tables, for instance.
Yep.
The over-the-shoulder cameras, so instead of the classic top-down cameras, that's something new that we're doing.
You mean this camera earlier?
This camera, yeah. So all of these things, this is us trying new things, getting out there and really trying to push ourselves in the streaming arena, because you guys who are familiar with us on YouTube know that that's for a long time sort of been our comfort zone. It's where we felt comfortable. We produce a lot of battle reports. We focus on ITC content.
The crotch cam.
And but we did start off live streaming. That was our bread and butter, and we're kind of coming back to that now. We realise there's it's a really interesting, not market, but really interesting area of social media for us to be coming back into.
It's great. It looks like we've just seen a Talos get removed there as well. So we'll just go back to the top down and have a check in on that. Danny, if you can update us exactly what's happening on table 1, that would be great. Elliot, do you have any updates from any of the tables?
No, just Mikey chipping in with saying that we're live streaming events like this, especially the larger events. I mean, we're really into events ourselves. We run the Hellstorm events, and being able to live stream. There's so much good Warhammer happens at these events, and if you're not at them, you don't know. You get the odd stories on Facebook, but being able to live stream the really good games, I think it's invaluable.
And now 147. I've watched the streams at all the biggest events, and this one is one of the best by a long way. Well done, guys. Wow, thank you very much. The compliments go a long way, they really do. But if you have anything that we can improve on, please let us know as well. We're always looking to improve what we're providing for you guys. And again, to reiterate, I'm not sure if we told you yet. I know I probably haven't told you yet. 8 p.m. British summertime this evening, the Invitational Final, the London Grand Tournament Invitational Knockout Tournament. 32 of the best players in the world. Shave wouldn't go and miss. You interrupted me on my flow. Oh God. 32-man knockout event of the 32 best players in the world invited to play in this invitational is the final tonight at 8 p.m. British summertime. It's culminating with Eldari Flyers versus Space Marines. Catch you here live at 8 p.m. British summertime.
Perfect.
Any more updates, Elliot? KNMK, thank you for the follow.
So the Space Marines have gone on, the Intercessors have gone in, they've kicked and clubbed a Talos to death. It is now Ramsey's second activation.
Okay.
So I think it was his second activation. I feel like he's cleared it up now.
So we are in combat with these Talos then. So the plan is just to kind of lock them where they are then, I imagine. Not worry about them too much. I mean, it looks like there's very little left on the board. There's some racks obviously there in the bottom of the screen towards, the center of the screen to the left, and then we'll have some racks on the objective for the engineers.
Very interesting.
Other than that, there's very little left. So interesting point you say there.
Yeah, so Ramsey actually forgot to charge his chaplains in.
Okay.
Michael very kindly allowed him to go back and charge them.
Well,
so there was a little bit of rejigging, but both chaplains are now into combat with those Talos. And as we saw yesterday on the Invitational, chaplains, I don't think people are scared of them enough.
No,
they can really reap a whirlwind.
They're called slaplins. They're incredible. Incredible. Where is Tank Cam? Yeah, he is just bench pressing right now. He's just doing some Arnold presses, some weighted squats and some bench press. That's basically all he does. And then every now and again when he's finished his reps or when he's on a rest, we just say, Tank, can you jump on the video? And he says, yeah, sure. Then he goes back to bicep curling and tricep curling and whatever the hell else he does.
Tank Cam. I think you mean the Silkies Cam. Although actually we've not seen him. Maybe we should just leave the camera on while he walks away next time so you get the full glory of the Silkies.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
getting smirks from everybody in Team Hellstorm as they had that huge
So
relay.
interesting comment, 40Ks, and the issue with Talos is the fact that the bases are so big, and the way that Ramsey is deployed. It's almost impossible for him to trap a unit, because he can't trap a unit on the edge, because they'll always be able to shuffle to their left or their right respectively, and he can't trap a single model because Ramsey hasn't given him the space to do that. So the way you trap models commonly is by having a base that can fit in the gap given by the coherency of the place in player. So you'd find a soft charge where you'd put one model within 1 inch, you hit them with that one model to not kill the unit, and then after you attack with the unit, you then consolidate in, wrap all of your models around the single model. You can fit in the gap because the coherency is 2 inches in 40k, so you can fit a model inside that gap, and then that one model on the end is typically tagged. A lot of people have been asking for the tank robots and team box armor, so that might be something we could arrange for you. We'll speak to our sources and let you know, but that would be something incredibly exciting. I know for a fact I would love to see that, Elliot. Would you?
I know that Steve will be well up for it. I guess it's whether we can convince Tank or not.
Steve loves a good arm wrestle. Steve actually had another arm wrestle with Joshua Def yesterday at the Invitational. And that was actually, I kid you not, they didn't roll to see who went first. They just arm wrestled for it.
Yeah. I
mean, what more do you want? What more do you want?
Football game like post analysis is something that we could definitely consider. Unfortunately, we're kind of a little bit kept out of doing that at the LGT just because there's so little time between the rounds. So, for instance, yesterday the round sort of ended and then we were immediately into the next round.
I mean, we do get post-game interviews with the players, though.
Yeah.
It's not quite in-depth analysis that you'd see on like Match of the Day or various other football shows, but we do try to get both the players in after the game, both of which talk about the game, how they felt it went, what they would have done differently. Neil says he refused to arm wrestle them at the ETC. Said he was too afraid of getting a red card. I don't believe you, Neil. I think you're just stirring. I think that's just controversy. Strike SC2 says, how would this spam Stalker Bolt work against tanks or a knight? So with the Chaplain, you can actually get +1 to hit and +1 to wound. Excuse me, just while we have this Tannoy announcement.
So if we just flick back
Screw
to
the arm wrestle, get a paddling pool of jelly and just skins would double the viewership.
If we just go back
Elliot,
to
have you got an
table 2
update?
quickly.
Yeah, table 2 for show.
Right, so obviously there's this big combat going on in the middle. We have the Khan in there. The Khan on the bike, buffed by Kasaro Khan. Obviously, very, very strong unit. You get the +1 to wound on the charge because of Kasaro Khan.
Yep.
And he also has the D3 +1 attacks, I believe.
Okay.
He wasn't able to do anything. He did 1 wound to everything around him.
Really?
And then the Dragoon prodded back to kill 6 intercessors.
Mikey, if you can hear me, is it still 10-3 on this table? Still 10-3. So we're still in turn 2, is that right? No, this is the start of turn 3, no? This is turn 3, so Jamie's only scored 3 points over 3 turns. 11-9, okay, so the overlay hasn't updated yet. It's currently 11-9 to Reece. And we're in Reece's turn 3, and Reece went first. So we're just going to try and update that overlay for you now. Anything to report from table 1, Elliot, at all?
Just getting that report now.
Okay, brilliant. So I can actually hear Dan giving some really in-depth analysis of what's going on table 1 rather, to Elliot. We'll have that for you momentarily. And I also can see Tank lurking, so with a little bit of luck, we might have Tank giving us an update relatively shortly on the rest of what's been going on around the LGT.
So I can tell you that Ramsey wasn't able to kill anything in the shooting phase. He did get the flyer down to 1 wound. He did manage to kill 1 Talos in the fight phase, and he's got another Talos from a different squad down to 1 wound. So not a massive turn. I'm sure he's not disappointed getting rid of one of them Talos because they were becoming blenders in the middle of that board.
Yep.
But probably could have wished for more.
So there's 2 left and 1's got 1 wound left, is that right?
Yep.
And is that 2 different units? It must be because they're not in coherency.
I believe, yeah.
Okay, so that's not the worst thing that could ever happen. obviously because none of these units have charged, we're losing the +1 attack from the Space Marines, but we also revert back to just regular activation sequencing. So what will happen is you won't see the Talos. I mean, for 1 CP you can retreat and charge, but what you won't see all of the Talos fighting before all the Space Marines can get a fight back, basically. And what will probably happen is Michael's going to have to fight with the 1 Talos with 1 wound left, because even though they have 1 wound left out of 7, they still act as if they're on full wounds, because they don't bracket or degrade or anything.
Yeah.
And then James will have a chance to swing back with, if you can see on the screen, folks, the intercessors that are in combat with the Talos at the bottom of this, well, the most furthest towards the bottom Talos. There's only 2 there, and they will hopefully be able to take that Talos out before he can swing back and reply. What's Michael got left apart from the Talos? He has some Racks, some Death Jesters, and Razorwing Jet Fighter. And we're currently in Ramsey's turn 4, I do believe.
Yeah, so Ramsey's managed to jump 5 points ahead there. He's maxed out both Gangbuster and Big Game Hunter.
Great stuff. So the reason why Ramsey got so far ahead so fast is because of his secondaries, but you see he only scored 5 points this turn, which does mean that it is going to slow down a little bit. So is this still Ramsey's turn? I do believe it is.
I think it's just the end.
The end of Ramsey's turn.
Yeah, the tail end at least.
No deep striking stuff as far as I'm aware, Guard Daddy. No, I think it's all on the table now. Both players have got everything out.
I'm not sure what he's rolling for on the... it looked like they were pointing towards the Razorwing.
If we could get an update from Danny, that would be great.
Yeah, Danny, what's going on with the Razorwing, buddy?
He looks far too engrossed in what's going on. 40k TV, thank you very much for the follow. There's been a lot of interesting looks over there on table 1. So something shocking's happened. So Elliot is just receiving that information from Danny, so hopefully we'll get that brought over to yourselves relatively shortly.
Right, so 2 Primaris died at the end.
Intercessors.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were able... At the end. Yeah. And it was the Eliminators or the Intercessors? Right, so what's happened is 2 Eliminators have died. They've chosen to fire in death.
Okay.
They've used the Mortis rounds.
So we're actually into Michael's turn then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're in Michael's turn. He's moved. He's killed. I'm guessing, is it a bomber or is it a fighter? They have the bomb. It's moved over them either way and they've died.
The Razorwing Jet Fighter, it doesn't have any bombs.
Okay.
Just a
so
jet
it's just
fighter.
in the shooting. So we're into the shooting phase. So essentially, 2 of the Eliminators have died. They fired in death with the Mortis rounds, and they actually killed the Razorwing Fighter.
Yeah, the Razorwing Jet Fighter's gone.
He won't get a kill 1 point, Ramsey, because it's not in his turn.
Yeah, you only get kill 1 in the player turn, but it will count towards his kill more for the whole battle round.
Yeah.
But I think Ramsey killed. Did Ramsey kill a unit in his turn anyway? It looks like he did on his screen. On the screen we have here. I don't know if that's up to date though.
Yeah, I believe he killed. Oh, I'm not too sure actually, because there's 2 Talos left and they're in different squads, aren't they? So I don't think he killed a unit.
Okay.
No, he didn't.
That makes
no,
sense.
we're getting a nod from the table. He didn't kill a
So he
unit.
won't get a kill 1 this turn, which is quite influential.
Ow.
Mikey,
what's going on?
If you can hear me,
table
can you perhaps ask Tank if he's ready to do an update for the stream? The Modern Knight 1, thank you for the follow.
Yeah, so just a little bits of shooting going on now on table 2.
Yeah.
I think Tank
Okay,
is
flip over to table 2.
Tank is ready to.
I think he just needs to get some more.
Yeah, so we're going to get a bit of an update now from Tank, and then following that, he's going to go and try and get Mr. Chew.
Okay, great stuff. So flipping over to Tank.
Hello everyone, update from the floor. James Marsden with the Black Templars against Manny Chima. It's a great game, that one. Close on the scoreboard currently. However, James is totally out of options for dealing with Manny's 3 Crimson Hunter Exarchs and the Void Raven Bomber Witcher remaining, apart from his Relic Leviathan Dreadnought. However, Manny's obviously sort of staying out of 24-inch range of that with his planes, and that should lead to Manny starting to gain a bit of traction in that game and perhaps running away on the scoreboard now. Tom Layton versus James Grover. Tom with the triple Knights, triple Thunderfire, and James Grover with a balanced Eldar list. That one is super, super close. They're playing the last turn now. James Grover currently has a 3-point lead. Tom Layton has a Knight left and Thunderfire cannons and a Scorpius. James just has I think he had a Warwalker, a Wave Serpent, and a couple of characters. So he's got a slight points lead, but it's just if Tom can do what he needs to do on the last turn. Just got our special guest. I was wondering if he was going to arrive in time, but he's here now. I'm just going to finish off the update, and then you can tell us about your game. Okay, so James McKenzie, he beat Ash Loftus 33-19. Bad matchup for Knights against GSC, and pretty much what we expected there. Malik Rubio versus Yori Omering. As we heard before, it was going badly for Yori after Malik going first, and they told me that game's over now with a big win for Malik, and they were just kind of having some fun seeing the last few units die on the table. Mike Porter and Greg Chamberlain, that's been quite a close one. Apparently, Mike Porter's now in the driving seat going into final turns. Greg Zangos needed to make an important charge. They needed an 8-inch charge to get into a Scout Sentinel, and if they rolled a 10, they could have touched Mike's Wyvern, which would have been massive. But they failed that charge, they now got killed, and with a Wyvern and less models left now, Mike's in the driving seat, and that's the consensus from the players. The last one on my list now is your one, Chewy. I promised everyone I'd try and get all the England ETC players that were here this weekend on at some point. So you tell us about your game with Mark. I've been telling them bits and bats, but you probably have a better insight than me.
Thanks, man. Well, me and Mark are really good mates, so it's a bit naff to pull a mate in a big event, but. He got first turn, which was big. He was running 142 plate bearers with Demon Princes, the Tree, Epidemus, and the Herald. But it's not a terrible matchup for me because to get the bonuses to string out, he has to stay within tree range, so he's not throwing loads of attacks forward. And Mark thinks that he should have been more aggressive early on, because he should have been throwing the Princes out to sacrifice a Plinth for a plane to reduce my firepower. He didn't do that, so I only killed most of a Plague Bearer unit in the first turn and some Nurglings, but then he failed Miasma Pestilence 2 turns in a row, so that meant I could kill most of a unit and damage another one, most of a unit and damage another one subsequently, and then I killed all the Mark for Death Plague Bearers by the end.
What did you use your Vex on in that game?
I only got 6 CPs, so I vected the very first Warp Surge.
The 4+.
Yeah, because I had Jinx and Doom, so I went, I'm just going to take that unit with 6+ to hit and -1. Right. Let's work with that, because I've got 3 Nightwings, so they get +1 to hit if they point at something. Normally, you don't take that because it sacrifices their Vector Dance, so not Vector Dancer, their hard to hit bonus. Yeah. But Mark's got no guns, so I'm just flying around going +1 to hit, +1 to hit. Yeah. So that they're actually not bad with Jinx and Doom and all the combo. So it was a close game from the early bits, and I could pull away at the end because I got all my secondaries, and I think he only got 4 of his, so it was 34-22. Close though, yeah. And you don't want to. I think on a different game where you can get the bonus for holding 5 objectives or whatever, he just steamrolls ahead because he can just catch up, and he can block the board better. Right. Or he will block the board in a different way. Do you see what I mean? So, cracking game though. Yeah. Pleased to beat Plague Bearers at a big event. So I hate that list.
Yeah, there's still a list of about 206 kicking about somewhere.
Is it on this list? Because I do not want to play it.
I've not seen it actually. Not
Thank God.
Table, so we'll see. So yeah, thanks so much, Chewy. And we'll take the stream back to the. Do you want to go back? Yeah, thanks mate. See you soon. Back to Toby.
Hi guys, welcome back. As you can see, the repulsor's gone. In the repulsor going, he took every single thing around it with him. We heard from the table that when Reece put his characters close to that repulsor, he said, "Oh, I'll just put them close. They'll be safer there. I hope it doesn't explode." Well, guess what, folks? It exploded. It killed the apothecary. It killed all the intercessors. It killed the ancient. It killed every single model that was within range of it. Did 19 mortal wounds in total when it exploded. Obviously, the repulsor does D6 damage when it explodes. Reece has no command points and couldn't reroll that 6. Sometimes you got to roll with the punches, and that is a very, very bitter pill to swallow. Have you got some updates from table 1, Elliot?
Yeah, so Urian went into the blue squad of intercessors.
Okay.
Killed an intercessor.
Right.
Who then fought because of the relic banner.
Yep.
And fought into the Talos.
Yep.
And killed it.
This is what I was talking about. It's about activation. He has to be clever with how he activates stuff.
We think there's a bit of a misplay going on at the moment with Michael because he's not targeting the banner.
Yep.
He's leaving the banner. So every time one of these intercessors dies, it's just costing him models. He's lost in the last turn alone, he's lost a Talos and a Razor Wing just to killing his own.
So if you were the Eldar player, well, the Eldari player, I think I'd be the same. Those Death Jesters will be trying to pummel that Ancient.
Yeah.
Because it just multiplies the force of the Space Marine player. It just lets them act out of sequence and do things that they shouldn't really be doing. It looks like we're now into James Ramsey's turn 5. If we could get a full update with the scores, that'd be great. It looks like it's 21-21, so
it is 21-21.
Right?
Yep.
Okay, so that is incredibly close. The banner is a character. Can Death Jesters not target characters with the snipers? Oh, they can, so I don't know why they wouldn't do that. You need to get rid of that banner somehow, and that is the only way you can target them.
Snipers, they do have the sniper rule, so they can target characters.
Those two Death Jesters are on the top of the building. You can actually see them on the side view, so we'll show you the side view, or the crotch view. The crotch cam.
The crotch cam has been dubbed.
You can see Michael sat down thinking, have I done enough? Those two Death Jesters, the obnoxious pink bases, and the big white cloaks, just shooting it. You need to go further down. Further down.
It just looks like you're grinding against each other there.
Mikey and Daddy just showing their crotches
Mikey in the background.
In the background there.
And Michael turned around all confused, like, what are you doing? Get away from me.
If he was stood up, it'd be a crotch cam. So that's a shame. We'll go back to the top-down view. So nothing else to report from other than the fact that we maybe would have killed that Ancient if we were playing that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm terrified. I've played against these Ancients long enough to know that they need to die immediately.
Well, I mean, normally they're not that bad because you previously used to see them in like Space Marine Forces when you had Hellblasters with Guilliman, for example.
Yeah. And
that was the banner of the Emperor Ascended. That would happen on a 3+. You'd put that next to those Hellblasters, and when they die, inevitably, you would shoot them. But when you have 70 infantry models that can all shoot when they die, the value of it becomes a lot better. So it should have been a priority for himself. Interesting stuff. Okay, we'll just flip back to table 2 and see what's going on there with Reece. There's not a lot of red left, Elliot.
Yeah, that repulsor went.
There's not a lot of red
stuff
left
around it. There's not a lot of Reece's army left. So it is 14-16 to Jamie at the moment.
Okay. So Jamie's just starting to pull ahead.
Both close, a lot closer than the games we had first turn, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah,
because of the way these tournaments have ruled.
Horde Marines, my immersion in theatre of the mind has been broken by all this hip thrusting. I love that. I think Michael's lost the ability to simply chew through enough wounds now. So yeah, we are just talking about table 1, which is not currently on our screens, but the table 1 is with James Ramsey and Michael. The Talos had to get there faster. I mean, we saw how effective they were when they got there.
Yeah.
But the problem was they just didn't get there fast enough, and that is always going to be a downfall of Talos. They're not very fast. Firing Fade in one unit would have been a good option because it puts them further forward. Obviously, maintain the buff with the Homunculi and Yuri and Rakath, just to make sure that they stay. Excuse me. Make sure they stay in range to get +1 toughness, +1 strength. But it's tough. It's tough. And I think you're right. I think he may have run out of legs in that matchup.
Mikey, can you grab me the update from Dan, please?
In this matchup, it certainly seems like Reece is running out of legs. We've got obviously the drop pod there.
Please.
Some scouts smattered around on the objectives that were previously scoring him engineers. Or recon rather, not engineers. So we'll see. So we're just getting an update from table 1.
One of the squads has come out of the building away from the objective to shoot Urian. So the players is trying to shoot Urian off the board.
As you can see, James has fallen back with models in combat with Urian. And the models that have left the building in the top right of your screen, on that L there, moved in such a way whereby Urian is the closest model, which means he's a valid target to be shot at. And he's relatively hard to kill. He does half damage, but if you do 1 damage anyway, he's dead.
There he goes. And that's Urian.
Another monk bites the dust. Because he's a homunculus. Do you get it? Do you get it?
Get off.
Shut up.
Get off the street.
Shut up. Reece actually had a brigade detachment of red scars, well, white scars. That was featured on the stream yesterday as well, so feel free to check out the stream yesterday and find that one out. But it's the same list you use in the Invitational. But alternatively, you can find these all on BCP, guys. If you just search the player on the LGT, that'd be great. Elliot's running away. Where's Elliot running away to? Okay, so he's just trying to get an update from the table.
Sick here, chap.
And yeah, Reece is out of steam. The question is, can he hold on? Fear605, thank you very much for the follow. I don't think he can. I don't think he has a way of dealing with the Scorpiuses. I mean, they don't need line of sight on one of their guns. They're going to be picking off scouts left, right, and centre. At -2, that makes them a 6-up save. Obviously, in cover, they get 5-up. So I don't know if they've got the legs to survive that. Looking at this matchup, Urian Rakaf is dead. It looks like he's killed the final Talos as well. And now he's into combat with these racks in the centre of the board. When these racks die, there'll be 1 unit of racks in the bottom left of the screen, guys, where the objective is. And then there'll be just the 2 death chesters at the top. So it's looking pretty bleak for Michael now. That was a really good play for James to bide his time, keep fighting in combat, pull out when he needs to, fire all his guns, then go from there. So really good play from James there, and props to him.
I'm back.
Hello, Elliot.
Hello. So
Fire away. That Talos died, it looks like.
are we back now? So we were just getting an issue with internet.
Okay.
So we were just doing some network swapping. That's why I disappeared.
Right, okay. Is that Talos died, yeah?
It's not on the board anymore.
Okay, so it did die. Cool.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what's killed it.
It'd just be shooting from the intercessors or combat.
Yeah.
I mean, now we're into combat with the racks in the centre of the board, so we'll soon find out what happens in that
Racks
regard.
are good in combat as well, aren't they?
I mean, they are, but not when they're getting charged by Space Marines that have 4 attacks.
No, yeah.
They've only got 1 wound each rack.
Sorry, pre-Space Marine meta, they were good in combat, right?
30k style Space Marines, yeah. There's no Dreadnoughts, though, so it's not 30k.
Tank made a really interesting... when they were all deployed before, he was like, it's the bloody cover of Horus Rising. But there's just like loads, just like hundreds of Marines all bundled up right next to each other.
There is nearly
armor.
100 Primaris Marines in this list.
Yeah.
There's 93 Primaris Marines in this list.
I think it's glorious. I
think
that's
it's
the
cool.
way Marines should be played.
It's so cool.
Just mass Marines. What can you do against them, right? Apart from bring 3 Leviathans.
Well, that was an age-old strategy now. I'm not sure if that still has the same value.
No, Leviathans aren't. Well, they're still strong.
Yeah, of course they are, but there's so many better options now. That was back when... it was literally back when... I can't even speak. Put my teeth in. That was back when that was the only viable option for Marines, but now they have so many good options. I mean, they have Repulsor Executioners, which we see quite a lot. They're great. Obviously, Aggressors now with the Tactical Doctrine are great.
I like Dorados, man.
Derrideos.
Yeah, Dorados.
Derrideos, tomato.
It's like
They've
the
been
Calidus
good
or
for ages,
Caladius.
though. They've been good for ages.
Yeah, I just prefer them to Leviathans. I'm not keen on the model. I think they look like little canoes.
Yeah, they do look weird.
But still can't complain.
No, they're great. I think they're a little bit better in Chaos Space Marines with the Purge and stuff, because the way it works, they don't have to be relics in Chaos. They're just Hellforged, and that doesn't have the same penalty of being a relic, whereby you have to have...
They don't have the same restrictions. You have
exactly.
to match them.
You have to have another standard choice to be able to take one relic. Sukalaminique says, damn right, Purge Dorados for life. Yeah,
there we go.
Purge Dorados are insane.
Well, I mean, that's... Yeah, I say that, but I'm not a true Space Marine player because it's Death Guard.
Yeah.
It's Chaos. They've got other bells and whistles that they can play around with.
But they're great. The plus one to hit. Reroll hits. I can't remember what it was actually. My mind has gone to mush over the course of the week this weekend, but I know that Purge Dreadnoughts are a thing.
So the Purge get, I believe it's +1 to wound on anything that's taken a wound already.
Okay, cool.
Oh, they get to re-roll wounds.
I think it's reroll. I think it's
like
reroll hits against it.
I'm fairly sure they can fire into combat as well.
It's one of them. I'm sure Sukalamanique.
I think the stratagem's called something like all life is meaningless, and basically they can just fire into
That's very
combat.
morbid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very morbid. So again, thank you very much for your views over the course of this weekend, guys. We appreciate it. We are going to have the invitational final at 8 p.m. British summertime today. You can expect to see the highest quality 40k anywhere really available on the internet. We're going to have Conrad Bartkuix and Joshua Death rocking the Space Marines, and obviously Conrad has the Eldar. We're going to be playing that in the final very, very soon for your viewing pleasure.
Interesting. Sorry, can I go on? No, I was about to go off on a lore tangent. I was going to say the Purge and the Death Guard. Now, the Purge are a part of sort of like the Renegades, the small little groups of Space Marines. They are Nurgle leaning, I believe. They really don't get on with the Death Guard. You'd think they'd be best of friends. They actually ended up having like a bit of a cold war on a planet.
Oh, really?
So essentially, they both follow sort of like the teachings of Nurgle, but they have very different. It's almost like Christians. It's like Methodists and Catholics, right? So they have like the same sort of God, but they just follow it in very different ways. So while the Death Guard are all about like disease and let's all just be really sick and infected, and whereas the Purge are just sort of like, no, everything should just die, everything. They just want to leave everything as like a barren rock.
Okay.
Whereas the Death Guard are quite really want to make like plague planets and like turning everything into a garden of Nurgle, and they were trying to do that to this planet, and the Purge were just like, no, just firebomb everything.
Okay.
So they don't get on.
Okay, that's fair enough.
There you go, everyone. There's a little bit of lore. We're not just here for the competitive 40k, and give you a balanced experience with one lore analogy that lasted 30
Only available
seconds
here
and a whole
live
weekend
at
of 40k.
We certainly haven't heard that Wandering Rogue 1. Again, that's nothing to do with us. We're just here to provide the stream. So if anything like that does get updated, I'm sure we'll let you know. But for the most part, we are fully expecting Joshua Death to come to the table with Conrad Bartkuix in the final of the Invitational.
Yeah, to reiterate, Hellstormwargaming, we're a sort of like YouTube and Twitch. We're a social media based group, basically, of like-minded individuals who stream. We're not associated with the LGT as much as we sort of here streaming the event. We're doing this with them in tandem. We're not sort of like under them or whatever, completely separate.
Is this the intercessor spam list? Yes, it is, Matt Dean. 70 intercessors, 9 eliminators, 10 infiltrators, and 4 characters for a total of 93 Primaris Space Marines. 93. 186 wounds. Disgusting. It looks like this game will be wrapped up relatively shortly. I think Ramsey has this game in the bag.
Yeah, and also I believe that Mikey's just been telling us that Reece has admitted that he's lost the game, and he's now just kind of he's not conceded, he's just going through the motions. I don't think he's not putting up a fight anymore. I think he's rolled over, basically.
Cool. Okay, so in answer to the question, Wandering Rogue, we don't know if it's happened as much as you. So I don't think it has, but that's all there is for that matter.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but my best advice would be to keep up to date with the LGT Twitter.
Yeah, and the Facebook page as well. They did make a post about the goings on in the semi-final yesterday, so if anyone's interested in finding out, head over to there, and all the information is there for you.
We're so wrapped up in the streaming that we get very little chance to communicate with what's going on outside of our... So there's like a little streaming zone that we've got, which is kind of like set to one side, mainly for volume, because if we were in amongst all the other players, it'd be too loud. But it also does come with the sort of like the negative of that we don't really know what's going on within the wider environment of the tournament. Which is why tanks roll is so important. Yeah, so that's why we have the roving reporter. The roaming report, whichever one we do. We start calling him Tank Rover.
It is roving.
Mars Rover. Tank Rover.
So the game on the table 2 that we have with Reece, table 1, no, it is table 2. I apologise. Table 2 with Reece and Jamie is basically over. Reece has agreed that he will lose the game, and he's basically going through the motions, like you said, trying to rack up as much points as possible to hopefully secure him a higher place in at the end of the tournament. It looks like James has killed the racks in the centre of the board now. We just have the Death Jesters up top. I think Michael has all but accepted the fact that he will end up losing that game as well. It would be great to get an update from that table. Elliot, you just had a cheer. What was that for?
Dan's just got his mic working again.
Okay, brilliant. Any information from that table? And there's the handshake,
There's
folks.
a handshake, so I think we're just getting the scores. We want to get this right.
So we'll wait for the scores to come back in, but that is a victory for James Ramsey.
29-26 to Ramsey.
29-26, the final score on table 1 of the Leningrad Tournament Open.
As fantastic as Ramsey's played, I've got to give it to Michael.
Because
He whiffed his first turn big time. He didn't really get anything done.
But is that because of his dice, or was that because of the strategy employed?
It could be because
by
of his
James?
decisions, but I think for most of that game, he looked like he was losing. To get the Talos in there and bring it back to 26-29 and give us a good game,
Yeah.
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, he should be happy with that. I mean, he missed out on 2 mark for death points, and ultimately some hold mores and kill mores, which would have been the difference, I suppose. But no, proving that the 70 foot-slogging intercessors, the 93 Primaris Marines are no slouch, and they definitely deserve respect.
Yeah.
So big props to both players. Hopefully
Fantastic
Tank will
game. Big hug going on in the moment. That's lovely.
Hopefully Tank will be around to interview both players momentarily. For the time being, we'll flip it over to table 2, of which is also a foregone conclusion as far as I'm aware. So in round 2 of the stream tables, guys, we have James Ramsey pipping Michael to the post, beating out the Eldari list with his Space Marines. And then we have Reece, Robbins and Jamie still playing, but it very much looks like Jamie is about to take this game.
Yeah. So apologies that the scores aren't updating on the stream. I can tell you that it's 21-16 to Jamie at the moment.
Okay.
Reece only actually has 3 intercessors, a drop pod, the Thunderfire cannon, and a few scouts dotted around. So not really anything that he can do a lot with. He's got a 5-point deficit at this point. It's going to be really hard to claw back. Reece is an experienced guy. He knows this. So yeah, like in his own words, going through the motions. That's kind of where we're at now in this game.
There was a big turning point in the game when the shit started to hit the fan for Reece, and he just looked to himself, looked around, looked at the table, said to Mikey and his opponent Jamie, went, "Yeah, I fudged up in my deployment. I think I was too aggressive."
Yep.
And at that point, in his head, he maybe even almost knew he'd lost the game at that point. So well done to James Ramsey with the Space Marines.
Yep.
Advancing on to, well, not advancing because it's just an open, so everyone gets to play all 5 games.
Fantastic
But
looking army as well.
Giving himself an opportunity to win this tournament.
Yeah.
Although you would have thought that maybe
Strong
29
play.
score could be a roadblock for himself in terms of winning the event. It's likely that we'll have plenty of players on 5 wins, so it's important that you get as many points as possible.
Yeah.
Metal Materials, thank you very much for the follow.
So for those of us who don't know, Toby, what is the best score you're looking for? If you're looking to win this event, obviously we're going to end up with a lot of players that are on 5 wins.
Yeah.
You're going to be looking towards those top end scores. So if I'm not mistaken, that's around 40?
Yeah, so it's 42 per game, so it's 210 points maximum. Can we get closer with some of Ramsey's Marines? I will change the table view just momentarily, just so you can have a look. I think he's painted pure contrast.
I think he's taken most of them off the board.
We're
now,
not going to be able to get a true close-up, really, unfortunately, but I think it's contrast Imperial Fist. They look really, really good in a cohesive unit. But there are some things missing compared to some of the more beautiful armies that we've seen this weekend.
Some of them down here are works of art, guys.
But it does look great when they're all together. It looks very uniform, and that's something you can see with Space Marines generally, which is great to see. And so we'll just keep you with the table 2 with the action going on. Yeah, yellow and grey is great to see, for sure.
One of I think the best looking army on the stream at the moment, that Admech is really nice.
The Admech do look good, and Ricard's Admech yesterday was pretty spot on as well.
Yeah, there's something about Admech players.
Just to go back to the question about the max points that we were talking about. So it's 42 per game, and that's split into 30 from the primary and 12 from all the secondaries. So for a total of 42, and you want to score as close to the coveted 210 points throughout the entire event. Like we said, multiple players will have 5 wins. It's about kill points, and it's about points that you score during these games, guys. They will be the deciding factor. So if you want to win this event, you've got to win big and you've got to kill a lot. Simple as that. Do we have any updates from the table?
No, just they're talking it through at the moment, so we'll have an update on score in a minute. Boom.
Okay, maybe we have a handshake very, very shortly.
Yeah, so I don't think there's really going to be any dice rolled. They're just sort of talking. You can see the pen moving around. There might be the odd dice rolled here and there.
Okay.
Bit of measuring, but for the most part, they've stopped playing.
Okay, so it ended 29-26 to James in game 1. I think we're just talking up the scores now and find out the final score here.
I mean, at the end of that last turn, it was 21-16 to Jamie.
Akimoto Okodo, that is Reece Robbins from Frontline Gaming fame. Did you know he wrote the ITC? He wrote the Bible of 40k, folks.
Yeah, so all still to play for at the moment.
We have a drunken come into the stream, folks. Ben, please don't abuse me. We have a drunk man on the stream.
Oh.
Ben, thank you for that. How have your 2 games gone so far, Ben?
Alright, I got my ass kicked in the first game and won the second game.
So you 1 for 1?
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I don't know if any of you guys know, but this is Ben Tilford, the raging...
Professional alcoholic.
the raging Redbeard, professional alcoholic and average 40k player. Is that right, Ben?
Slightly above average.
Slightly above average. So we got the final score in from table 2, folks. It's 27-18 to Jamie. That's all she wrote. Thank you to both players. There goes the handshakes. Hopefully, we'll get some interviews with you very soon. But just 1 second, we'll put you on the wait screen for just 1 second while we organise these interviews. Stay with us, and we'll be back very, very shortly. Hello, everybody. You're joined with just me at the minute. Elliot's currently away trying to find someone to interview the 2 players on table 1 that we had previously. That's James Ramsey, and we had Michael on there as well with the Eldarian Space Marines. It was great to see the intercessor list. 19 intercessors, not 19, sorry, 93 Primaris Marines. That's a lot. Sure, no problem. So we're just going to flip it over to Tank, who's actually got Reece Robbins, and he's got Jamie there for the interview for the table that we had on table 2. So flipping over there now. Go!
On the floor. From the last couple of games we were following, Manny Chima, I'm not sure on the points yet, but he's closed out the game against James Marsden. I'm not sure if it'll be as big a win points-wise as he wanted, but Manny's took that one now. And also Mike Porter has beat Greg Chamberlain 35-19, so his knowledge of Greg's Chaos list obviously shining through there. Apparently the Zangors failing a charge where they could have tagged the Greg's Wyvern Mike's Wyvern was kind of the deciding factor in that game. So without further ado, we're going to hear from the guys who've just been playing on the stream. So I didn't get to see this game because I've been wandering about. So I'm sure you guys have got a good insight, and I'll just pass you the mic, and you can just pass it between yourselves and tell us the story.
So I got my butt kicked, as you saw, and the highlight was definitely the repulsor exploding and killing 4 units. But Jamie played a really good game. That was a really, really solid army. There's a lot of threats. It's difficult to punch through all that armor. And really the biggest mistake for me was my deployment. That was the first game where I won the role to go first, and I got too anxious or excited. I deployed everything on the table, and I should have stuck to the playbook, deep struck the Vanguard vets, and not been so aggressive. Because then, as you saw on turn 2, I had to go back and hide in the middle of the table. And then I was like, I can still get it, because I'll grind out, I'll hold the middle, and I'll make him come at me, and I'll try and kill all the characters as they come in. But then the repulsor exploded, and any hope of that working out faded. But you played a great game, and I made a couple mistakes. I made quite a few mistakes, actually, so it happens.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I chucked my shield captains at him. Didn't expect that to go well, but it did really well. And then Dragoons went in, did some damage, and just fell apart.
I should have swung with the intercessors first.
Yeah.
Because they probably would have killed them. That was just a mental error.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the repulsor blowing up was nasty. It was nasty. 19 mortal wounds.
I was like, oh, God.
Filth. But yeah, I mean, I've still got quite a lot left, so just a little bit. Yeah. No, great game. Very good.
It was a really good game. It was fun.
Yeah. I'm glad you both enjoyed it. So I guess it's just have some beers and enjoy the rest of the weekend for you now, Reece. Yeah, and how many points was your win?
27-18.
Oh, so you're in the hunt still, because that's a decent win. Yeah. So good luck with the rest of it. And I'll leave you guys to go and enjoy yourself. And we're going to grab the guys off the other table and get some insight from them. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, we're gonna grab James. Sorry about the delay there, fellas. Just grabbing the guys to talk to you. Come and join me. Good to see you've both got beers.
Yes.
Now, I didn't get to watch your game properly because I was having to go and see what was going on down there, but I was sort of having a quick look in, and it looked like quite a close, interesting one. 2 beautiful armies, by the way. I've done a good job with the painting. So, you obviously created these armies, you know they work. Gonna give you guys the microphone and feel free to pass it between you and just tell the guys how it went down and any sort of interesting things that happened. And who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So I rolled really poorly, and then that's about how that went. So my list is 7 Talos, 3 Razor Wings, Harlequin Jet Bikes, Solitaire, 2 Jesters, and Urian Rakarth and Homunculus. And basically what I want to do is just occupy the center of the board, and especially on an odd objective one like this, where I think I held more 4 turns or something like that. That's basically all I want to do with this. But I have a lot of different types of threats. So the Talos are strength 8, -2 AP, 2 damage each, and I run double scalpels as opposed to chain flails for exactly going versus armies like this, 2 damage, 2 wound models. And then I have my Razor Wings for getting recon, so it's really easy for me to get lots of secondaries. All of my army is really tough, so it's really hard to table me, even though you got pretty fucking close. And then Death Jesters for taking out snipers, Solitaire for going in and murdering somebody. So last game I took out Ahriman on turn 1 with Solitaire. This time he did 22 attacks and 3 wounds to suppressors. So yeah, it was that kind of a game for me rolling. But we're pretty even on matchup because he has a lot of ability to take down my Talos with those 2 damage flat, and with the planes with the exploding 6s and everything like that. So all of my minuses to hit sort of go away for him. So all of my shooting advantage goes away, and so it's really dangerous for me for my planes and my Talos, but he also has to kill my Talos because when I get in range, I kill 1 per hit, and I do 6 attacks per Talos, so that's a lot of dead Marines. All right, here you go.
Cheers. So yeah, my army's like just basically a blob of Marines. It's loads of intercessors, I think about 70, some infiltrators who weren't so good against you because you don't really have any deep strikers, and the eliminators who are always MVPs every game. They are just the best. They're just the them going to strength 5 in the new book made them so good. I think bordering on overpowered for their points. Yeah, they're only 70 points for a squad of 3, and they always do 70 points. They always do points. They always get work done. The list works with like some characters, so there was some buffs like warlord traits and things. Being able to give the army cover, even if you're in the open, as long as you're standing still, and fearless was nice against the Death Jesters this game. And then you give them the Artisan of War, so then you ignore Rend 1 as long as you're in cover. So that's really nice. To help against those AP1 like looters and things, it helps them. And I've got a couple of chaplains who they're just to fill out the detachment really. And it works just by basically being a big blob of shooty guys and combat guys, and it's not really good at anything in particular, but it can kind of do both. It's a little bit slow, and I probably should have taken the 6-inch pile-in and consolidate against you, because it would have given me some more ability to move up the board a bit quicker. That's one thing. The chaplain buffs are quite hard to decide on, I find. They're really tough, because you kind of want the damage at the start, but then you want the combat late game to be moving up the board. Would have been really handy. But yeah, like I said, it was a really close game. And I think there was probably about 10 points in the game where you could have, if you just rolled better in like maybe
I could have pulled it back.
And it could either been a draw or a win to Michael. So it was really, really close. Unfortunately, Michael just didn't have the luck this game. I had of those
massive amounts of luck.
Of those 10 chances that were where it was close, I had probably 9 out of 10 went my way. Like for example, the Solitaire charge and the Eliminators should have killed both squads, or at least hurt both squads.
And I should have killed at least one squad.
Yeah, killed one squad. And in fact, he didn't kill one, and then I was able to fight twice and kill the Solitaire. Which was pretty crazy. I mean, I had a lot of attacks, a lot of buffs, but it's not. I shouldn't be, because I rolled so well in the first round. It gave me the chance to kill him. and both those 2 turns, it was that let me get kill more.
Yeah, kill more on turn 1.
I like, for example, the Shadow Seer being sniped at by the Eliminators on turn 1.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't, with 9 shots, shouldn't really happen.
-1 to wound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Exploding Sixes help, but it's not. It shouldn't. I was only hoping just to hurt her, not to kill her. And you lost your. Having that late game smite and stuff would have been really, really handy for him.
Yeah, and my CP battery.
Yeah, it was big. To lose the CP was big. Yeah, it was a really good game though. Really good game.
Oh. Yeah, fascinating insight, guys, and 2 top players, and I suppose it's enjoy the rest of the weekend for you. Hit some beers, and James still in the hunt, so
I'm still like
submarining nicely.
Just trying to keep low. I don't want to get too many points because I probably can't beat the best armies. But it's I just got lucky, and I got lucky in my last game as well. So I'm sure the luck's coming for me. I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, like a fascinating, interesting, and original list. So best of luck with the rest of the games, and hopefully we get to see you again.
Yeah, cheers. Thank you.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourself. Yep. I'm going to see if I've got some more guests for you. So we were reporting from the floor on a very close, interesting game between Tom Layton and James Grover before. So without,
you're taking my ducky off the table.
Oh, he's going to go back. It's the players.
Well, I'm holding him for now.
It's the players not respecting him. You see.
They shouldn't. They should respect him.
They should.
Who was disrespecting the ducky?
Harrison's ducky is still on that table.
Who was disrespecting it?
I think it was Reece.
Did Reece lose?
He did.
Fucking said.
Yes, lucky ducky, eh? Okay, so without further ado, I'm just going to give you guys the mic. I know you're a pro, Tom.
Am I?
I'm sure you're a natural, James.
Well, I'll just follow his lead. I'm sure I'll be fine.
I'll have it then. So we were playing quite an interesting matchup, and we were playing with Knights versus your Eldar list. Your Eldar list is a bit weird, so it's not like a typical flyer spam list. What have you got in there?
So it's a sort of balanced list. It's got 3 flyers, it's got 2 Crimson Hunters and a Hemlock in it, but then it's got quite a lot of infantry units, 3 Wave Serpents with some infantry in them, a unit of Rangers, which I've just realised I left in Deep Strike and never actually put on the board, so there's an extra kill point for you on turn 3. Pro play there. Unit Warwalkers, and then a bunch of characters. The only unusual character, I've got the Smash All Type, got a Warlock, got a Farseer, and then I've got Ivrain just in the Craftworld detachment for some extra mortal wound output. The goal with it basically is to try and be sort of resilient and fast and durable on the board, but use Doom and Jinx to put in a lot of damage on a key target.
So I think I actually got Butcher Bill on turn 3 anyway, so it didn't really matter on that one. So I got first turn. I was quite confident going into it because I was on the line. You can't see it on me because of the LGT format. I walk up, I have a shoot at your things, and I didn't really kill very much, did I? I mean, you kind of come back. I did kill nothing, but so you came back and your shooting wasn't particularly effective. And turn 2 kind of.
Psychic was wild.
Well, the Psychic was wild. You did
14 wounds off the Knight with the Psychic phase.
Yeah.
So
22 wounds.
But what I messed up is that I assumed I would need the Crimson Hunters to finish off the Knight, so they were in a position that was sort of far away and hidden from the other 2 Knights, but couldn't then see other stuff to shoot. So at the point where once I'd done Psychic and fired my Hemlock, the Knight only had like 7 wounds left, was it?
It was pretty low.
Yeah, at which point a bunch of Shurikens deal that easily.
Yeah, so when going into turn 2, I was able to kind of bring it back a little bit because I was having a few issues.
Then I got back
well, because I'm Tyrannus, I can get back up. So I got back up on there. I didn't even need to use a reroll. That was kind of fine. And then the turning point of that was because you'd all come kind of close to get all the Shuriken catapults into me. What I was able to do then was I was able to charge into the middle of your kind of brick. I was able to catch your Yvrain, and I was able to catch.
Very slightly too close to the edge of things, so they were behind other models, but they were just within an inch of the edge, so you could get the base to them.
It is one of the tricky things though, because when you've only got 3 Wave Serpents, you don't really want to be bringing your Night Spinner all the way up to screen. You want it side of the back, you want it using that range, you want it using the Doom without any kind of risk, especially when you're playing ITC, because what I can end up doing is I use Big Game Hunt to try and pin it, or I use or Butcher's Bill. This is the thing, because you don't have the Serpent Shield, and especially when I'm so stacked with 2 damage weapons, it really is a problem for you.
The corner ruins in the terrain here do hide a Night Spinner quite well.
They do.
Like it hides it from most of the board. Like you can get round, but you can actually hide one quite effectively.
Yeah, and then the problem for you then is because you're using your planes quite aggressively, you can't really hide all of those characters as easily, unless you kind of do like some weird kind of 3-pointed star thing where you've got all the characters in the center, and then you're at risk of blowing yourself up with the perils and doing some serious damage to your characters.
The little little triangle is what I normally do, but I didn't have the movement to set up some other things I wanted when I was doing that, because I needed to be sending one wave serpent off to circle around to threaten the center objective with some stuff inside it.
Yeah, so the issue for me really going into that game was you were able to pick up your secondaries very, very quickly. You could assert quite a lot of board pressure because your units are quite durable and you could push me in, and obviously I need to walk around, and you've got quite a big footprint as well. So you really raced into an early lead, and it was really a case of how quickly can I close that gap, and that is based on how quickly can I kill your stuff and are you able to remove my knights. Do you think that was about right?
Yeah, I think that's basically the summary, and what went wrong for me is that after a reasonably good start, I then missed a couple of Doom casts.
Well, this is the thing, right? Because you failed one Doom, and then because I have Gryer in my list, which is an AdMech battalion, which allows me to take a unit within 24 inches of me, and on a 4+, I deny a psychic power, so you failed one Doom. I then blocked another, and then you failed another Doom. So you weren't able to remove the last knight, so I had like one knight running around on 5 wounds at the end of the game.
Oh, one wound at the very end of the game.
Oh yeah, there you go, yeah. I forgot about that, because we had a little bit of a combat with a Farseer with a Witchblade bashing on it. That was kind of fun. But
Farseer sat in combat with it at the end, because it was last turn, and you were already ahead on kills for the turns, there's no point pulling it out. So Farseer smote it, 1 wound, executioned it, 1 wound, Witchblade to the side, 2 wounds, lives on 1.
It was yeah, but either way, I was just able to catch up with you in the end, wasn't I? We just had enough turns. It was like, if we had maybe ended at turn 5, which obviously you don't do in ITC, yeah, you'd have been in the lead because you were 3 points ahead going to the last round. But because I missed the second turn of Butcher's Bill because I didn't kill anything. And the issue I had actually with your list was I couldn't get Butcher's Bill and Big Game Hunter in the same. So if I'm killing a unit for Big Game Hunter, I can't kill it for Butcher's Bill. And most of the units I'm killing are Big Game. So I need to really allocate how I do that properly, so I can get 4 of them for the Big Game Hunter, and then 3 for Butcher's Bill. So I think I maxed out one in the end, and I was 3 on the other one. So I got 11 secondaries, I got 10 secondaries, which is fine. I missed first strike because I killed nothing. But so what do you think? Do you think that's about right?
Yeah, I think it was a really good game, and a really back and forth.
Really weird.
And yeah, it could have gone either way for any of the last 3 turns. I think basically at any point, if you got a spike turn, then I was out of it. But if I got a spike turn and finished off that last night, then I was going to take it over and just take the center and hold it. So I think it was really back and forth and really enjoyed it.
Absolutely. We'll pass it back over to
outstanding close game, and thanks for that insight. It was really interesting to hear.
24-21.
24-21. So does that just put you in a nice position where not top, but still in the hunt? Here he is again.
So yeah, not really, because the number of VPs is such a big factor. You've got so many players that are going to be on like max wins, so 10, 12 players. I only got 24 VPs. Right. So it means I'm going to be a little bit further down. Assuming I win all 5 games, which I don't think I will, because I'm very tired now.
Okay.
So I'm going to lose next round.
Fair play.
But even if I were to, I'd probably be slightly lower down that pecking order, just because the number of VPs I've scored is quite low. I've got 38-24, so I'm on 62 points in total. Similar to Ennis, so that shows you how low I am.
Oh, speaking of Nick, he said before that you were the best knight player he's ever played against.
That's not very high bar.
Anyway, lads, just before we go back to Mikey, does anyone want to plug any Facebook pages or websites? Or
Yep, so I am a strategy writer for goonhammer.com. We have lots of free articles about 40k strategy. We also have painting and hobby content. You can find us on Facebook. We also post our stuff to the competitive 40k Reddit.
Yeah.
The Honest Wargamer, we're streaming over there.
Yeah. Go check them out, guys. And
I have 2 monitors open.
Thank you both. And back to Mikey.
Hey guys, I'm here joined with Nick Nanavati.
How you doing, baby?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm good.
You having a great day?
Yeah, having a lot of fun.
Yeah, 1-2 games?
1-2 games.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Going into round 3, you feeling good?
Feeling pretty good, yeah.
So we got one more game today. We're just going to close the show for a bit. What we're going to do is going to fix some technical issues so we can go right into round 3, which should be starting. We'll probably be going on about 5:15, and then tonight at 8 p.m, which is going to be in about 3 hours, we're going to have the invitational final coming up. So yeah, stay tuned, I guess.
Yeah. See you guys in a bit.
Yeah. Thanks, Nick. Yeah. And a quick message from our sponsor before we go offline. Thanks, guys.